Hey everyone, and welcome to Baka-Talk, the anime podcast of the year, voted by me.
Bonsai!
Yay!
And Pyrolus. And whatever the thing is over in that corner.
I got this.
Yeah!
Just show him the light. His kind doesn't expect the daylight.
Anyways, I am joined by my usual co-host, Wheeze,
Hi.
Ramen Cat,
Yo.
and Pyrolus.
Hello.
It took me a solid 5 seconds to figure out Ramen Cat's name because I forgot it.
You can just feel the chemistry.
Bow, bow.
Not that kind of chemistry,
That is chemistry, though.
I guess.
Gunpowder is chemistry. Because it was invented because a Chinese man wanted to invent the path to immortality. He blew himself up.
What?
He found the path to
Found the path to
immortality.
immortality. So a Chinese man in like 1300s, I think, somewhere around there,
Yeah.
was trying to make the invention of immortality. Like trying to make because alchemy was big back then. He then mixed saltpeter, coal, and I forget the third thing, and it went kaboom
Oh.
because he tried to light it on fire.
Oh. Nice.
And then they used it for fireworks and hand cannons and proceeded to dominate until the West was like, hey, we can use this too.
Oh, cool. Well, anyways, how are you guys doing this week?
Cold.
Yeah.
The end of the world was coming with a blizzard. At least that's what everyone keeps telling me. They're like, look, I have 32 notifications. The cold weather's coming. I'm like, yep. Look, there's a blizzard coming. We're all going to die. Yep. Look, it's going to snow. Yep. We live in Michigan.
I feel
We're
like
surrounded by ocean.
And people still procrastinate about putting on their tires. Just put on your tires before the snow. It's not that hard.
I feel like the news also is just like the blizzard's
at you.
coming. No one can go anywhere. We're all gonna die. And then the blizzard comes and we're like, this is it.
My coworkers
The
tell me
heck?
to fill up my tub. I'm like, I don't want to fill up my tub. I gotta take a shower.
You know what? My manager, who just 2 years now moved from Southern California,
Yeah,
his phone he showed me
not
today,
southern.
or Central or Northern or wherever, California, and he had 3 notifications from from a weather app, 2 from his county that he lived in, 1 from the college his kid goes to, 2 from the sheriff's department, 1 from the state police department, and 1 from the government.
Oh, no,
Wow.
it's going to snow in California.
No, like that's all from here.
That's all from here.
Oh.
I got 2 notifications, one
Kinda
from the
gay.
weather service and one from my weather app. It's just like, hey, there's a blizzard coming.
All I got was my
mean-
papa was like, yeah, it looks like we're going to be snowed in this weekend. And I was like, how can you? I was like, skies look mighty gray.
It already
As it's like sunshine
Yeah.
out.
it already blizzard this year. Like
Yeah.
there was already a blizzard. I don't know.
I don't know if it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be no problem because literally when it starts snowing, everyone's going slow, and I just sink down in my seat like this is the coziest driving weather.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind driving in the snow as long as there's not some like prick like right behind me.
And as long
In
as you
like
have
an
good tires on
F350.
your vehicle.
I have perfectly fine tires on my vehicle.
Now,
The problem is when it rains and then it like freezes. That's
Yeah.
when it's really bad. When it's just like a blizzard is coming, it's like, okay, it's gonna be snowy.
But no one cares about our
Cool.
sissy Midwestern weather.
you
Boom!
just
What are
need
we
to
doing?
Install copper conduit underneath the roads. Heated roads.
Okay.
Then it could just be like a hot tub, like everywhere. You
Yes!
just go out and
Yeah.
lay down on the road.
And you think deer are bad now?
Oh, I want to lay down on the road, but not because it's a hot tub.
Boom! No.
Oh.
I'll join if you go too.
Boom! No. We'll monetize
You didn't say
watching
no to me.
Pyrolus go.
Let's go.
We just got a camcorder. We're just watching from the freeway. Hey, you still alive over
So here's
there?
from our angle. Here's from the drone's angle. Here's from Pyrolus's angle. Look at that
Hey,
truck.
As long as I start attacking the truck before it hits me, I'll go to Valhalla.
When it gets sketchy is when we show from the truck's angle.
Hello,
Imagine if we can
Tik.
monetize this.
Hello, TikTok. Welcome to the sit in the middle of the freeway challenge.
Anyways, well,
Semi-barreling our way. Woo!
Get over there, Jeffrey. You got this.
that's our normal 5 minutes of bantering. So if you guys have made it this far, congratulations. You're into the actual topic of the show.
Content.
Content.
What's the actual
Yay.
topic of the show? Boom.
Well, I had a brilliant idea of, since it's the end of the year and all, and this episode's going to release at the end of the year and all.
Oh yeah, this is a message from the from the past.
Yes.
From the future. What the crap?
We're recording for the future and playing from the past.
Also, are we going to talk about my favorite event?
Way to state the obvious.
It's only going to
about-
happen for maybe 2 to 4 weeks.
What?
The tasting.
The tasting?
The tasting. Or is that going to be a surprise?
What?
I don't know. It has to do with like China's blood censorship thing.
Oh,
No, that's not it.
anyways.
We got the goods yesterday for it.
What?
We'll talk over break.
Oh, God.
I know what he's talking about.
Okay, I'm glad you do.
I pretend
I
not
don't-
to, even though I listen to your guys' conversations every day.
I'm trying to jump into the topic
Listen.
here, and everybody's not. So give me 1 second. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, our topic this week is about our favorite top picks of the year.
Whoa.
So we're gonna go. What?
I said, yay.
Oh. So we're gonna go ahead and go over some of our most memorable moments. We're gonna talk about some anime that we watched, some manga, comics that we read, some movies that we watched, video games that we played, and whatever other random stuff we came up with.
Yeah.
We have a couple different categories. We have anime, we have manga, comics, and books, and I guess webtoons as well.
I'd like anime for 500, please.
Hey, I only asked on the webtoons because I don't get to read comic books much.
Fair enough.
This is also just what we've read and watched this year, not
Yeah.
necessarily something that came out this year.
Correct. Yep, this is just what we've enjoyed.
Feel free to comment what you've done this year as well in the section below.
Although a lot of it did come out this year.
Yeah, it's
Not
true.
me.
I mean, this year is pretty cool though. Anyways, and then we also have video games, movies, and then I put a little section at the end for random stuff. So, yeah, I'll let you guys all know so you can listen to appropriately when we're switching to a new topic. And yeah, you guys can pick whatever you want.
Are you going to chapter off the video on YouTube where it's the sections?
Or just post the
I don't even know how
timestamp.
to do that.
I can probably do that if I remember.
And then you
to
can
do
teach
that.
Wheeze.
I should probably do that.
And then we
People better watch my whole videos. They're not that long. You can watch a 10-minute video.
10 minutes too long with your voice, buddy. Just kidding. You have a very lovely voice. I was joking. For the
Sorry.
meme.
Anyways, we're gonna start from the deep dark corner of the table, and we're gonna start with Wheeze.
Hey.
We're gonna start with top anime.
Top anime I've seen this year. Okay, so one of the first. Let's go back to the beginning of the year.
Scrolling.
I watched Monster just before this year, so that one doesn't count.
I like how you're using your YouTube channel for this.
I know, that's how I know of what I
What?
watched.
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Odd Taxi was one that came out that I watched really early. Odd Taxi was good. Attack on Titan was a big highlight. I did watch Attack on Titan this year,
Attack on Titan was good.
and it was really good. I'm excited to see how the ending is, especially since
Wait,
everyone
it's still
hates it.
going?
Oh, they're on the final season, part 3.
3, yeah.
I thought they were only breaking it into 2 parts.
That's
Usually
what
they do.
everybody thought. And then they were like, okay, part 3. Everyone's like, how are they going to fit the last 40 chapters into this one episode? And then they're like, part 3, let's go.
Yeah.
Partly it was just finishing. So I think they adapted up to where the manga was at the time. And then he finished it. And then they're adapting the rest of it.
I think
Like, they didn't have enough time. They weren't ahead of the manga.
and I also think what happened is everybody kind of hated the ending, like they mostly do in
Yeah.
manga. So they're like, we're gonna do a part 3, and we're gonna spend this year and a half thinking how we're gonna fix this.
Yeah, I think they might fix it, especially since the author himself has like apologized for the ending
Yeah.
and stuff. So I'm not sure if they'll change it or just add more to it, or I heard it felt kind of rushed and stuff. So
I'm sorry for this piece in which I have made.
yeah, everyone was like, "It's so good" until the ending, and then it's awful. So hopefully they'll nail the ending. But the show is really good, even if the ending sucks.
I mean, season 4, part 2 was probably one of the best.
Yeah, season 4. It was just a wild story. It
Yeah.
was really fun. Then Spy Family came out, and that's still coming out, like the two halves of the season. So that's been like all year has
Yeah.
had Spy Family, which
It's got its last episode, I think, this week.
it
So
kinda-
it would have came out already by the time you guys listen to this.
yeah,
Um,
it kind of reminds me
It
of
was
like
a great episode full of spoilers.
I mean,
sure.
you could read the manga and say like this stuff happens in the anime, but it kind of reminds me of like Love is War.
Yeah.
Just a really fun, easy show to watch.
I like it for its it's got enough plot where it's interesting, and they kind of like seed the story elements through it enough where it's mostly comedy, but then you get like that tidbit of like story, and
Yeah,
it makes you want to watch the next episode.
yeah.
So it
Of
works really well.
the top of some of the like more trashy shows I watched that kind of sucked, I'd say Love After World Domination was probably the best, where it's not quite as good as Spy Family or a lot of these other shows, but it was really fun. I watched Goblin Slayer, which was a highlight. I really liked Goblin Slayer.
Oh, Goblin Slayer.
Goblin Slayer got really high on my list.
Which is funny because I did not think you'd actually like that.
Yeah, I really like Goblin
Wouldn't
Slayer.
like Goblin Slayer. As soon as you said he was gonna watch it, you're gonna love it.
It's amazing. I love the character of Goblin Slayer. I love his like subtle development of like opening up a little bit more.
Yeah, I can't get him into Doom.
Yeah,
It's so satisfying at the very like at the end of the movie where he just tells Priestess that he's like hopes they can keep adventuring together.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, that's so cool. He was so closed off and like never said anything.
The manga is so brutal.
I love how closed off he is too. It's just he's really funny because Priestess is like, you gotta tell me these things, and he's like, oh, okay. But
It's like he's it's one of those villain or not villain. Yeah, he's the villain to the goblins.
yeah,
It's one of those hero
He's his own
archetypes where
enemy.
he's like almost untrained himself how to be human.
yeah.
And now the story is not so much about him becoming a hero, it's about him actually becoming human.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
And along with that, it also like has his struggles of fighting goblins too. Like he's
Yeah.
not it feels very real. And I think part of that is like its D&D game kind of style.
Yep.
Where it feels like, oh, he's gonna get a bad roll and get like totally, defeated here.
What, you
So-
mean their game actually had character development?
It does. Basically. I mean,
Jealous yet?
it's definitely it's not an actual game, but like it feels
Oh,
like
I'm
it.
sure it was someone's D&D game.
They have made Goblin Slayer D&D games, but
I almost bought it.
then my year ended with some really great season continuations.
He's having a
With-
child.
Made in Made in Abyss season 2 and Mob Psycho season 3, which I just finished today.
Nice.
And Mob Psycho is incredible. It's a masterpiece
He's
from start to
lying, you know.
finish.
Watch Goblin.
So wait a second.
It might beat Death Note as my second favorite anime.
So you comment on Made in Abyss. and
Made in
you like-
Abyss season
and
2
then Mob Psycho.
and Mob Psycho season 3.
Okay. You
both-
think Mob Psycho is your favorite now?
I think it's my second
Second.
favorite.
Second. What's your first?
I still like Noragami.
Yeah, Noragami's first
Okay.
favorite.
I,
Just
I
because
need
of-
to rewatch Noragami. I've seen it like twice,
Weeze cries every time. When
but I've only ever watched it with friends, and I don't
Yeah.
pay that much attention when I'm watching with friends.
Yeah.
So I need to just sit down and watch it
It's-
for myself.
The thing that I love about Noragami is its characters and just how they're like hanging out together, and
Yeah.
then just the fun, like cool moments of Yato and stuff.
he curls up
and
on his couch and cries. every
Mob
time.
Psycho is very similar because it's just got like they're hanging out together, and then Mob goes like insane and does
Yeah, that's
crazy
how it
stuff.
does
So,
feel. The first season, especially, it feels
Yeah.
like it's a weird slice of life with
Mhm.
bosses
Yeah.
at each end of the arc where he just has
And-
to beat somebody up.
Yeah, it's really fascinating because the struggle is never mob against the antagonist because his power is so insane. He basically has infinite power. He's just
you
like
feel bad for the antagonist because it's almost like he's stuck in the battle with Mob.
yeah, the only like battle Mob has is with himself
Yeah.
because he's like I don't want to hurt people, so he doesn't like fight very hard, or I want to like help you get over your problems instead of having to just beat you down because he's
Yep.
just like insane. Or he's like struggling with whatever mental problems, but any point he can just be like, yeah, I'm done and just kill everyone.
I do like how they represent that with the meter. And it's
Yeah.
not so much a meter of him powering up, it's a meter of like him losing the will to hold back.
Yeah, his emotions and
Yeah.
stuff because he's so scared. It's such a good story, and the ending tied everything together, and it was really good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't mention Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man, yeah, that's another show that,
I was
that
gonna say,
ended
like,
out
just
well.
like
I forgot about it because I didn't make a video on it
okay,
yet.
fair enough.
But yeah, Chainsaw Man's really good. I'm not as high on it as a lot of people I think are, but
I
I
like
do
snorting
think it's
it.
really good. I think like the last few episodes have been really, really good, and the first ones were like decent.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think it's building up to a big story, so the beginning isn't like crazy mind blowing. Like it doesn't have that first big moment where something insane happens. It just kind of builds up to something insane happening, and
Yeah.
that's where we're getting to.
Now that we're getting closer towards the end of the season with Chainsaw Man, because I think they're gonna have a part 2.
Yeah,
But they're definitely ending this part in
Mhm.
12 episodes.
yep,
I'm realizing, and I was actually telling Pyrolis this the other day, I think I like Chainsaw Man more as a manga than I actually do an anime. They did a really good job adapting it
Yeah.
to an anime. But to me, it feels like they're almost going too slow in parts.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of scenes that they seem to emphasize on, and in the manga is like literally like 2 pages worth.
More like
Yeah.
a panel. Some of them are
Yeah,
just like a
like a
panel. that
I
they, like,
think
stretch
Like
out
I'm
to 2
interested
minutes.
how I'm interested in how they're gonna like adapt the the Fiend Queen and like the Santa Claus arc and stuff.
I
I
am as well.
I think
that's
thing-
really wild stuff.
the thing they did with Chainsaw Man is the author has this thing for like famous movies, I guess,
Yeah.
like cinema. And so I think when they went to animate it, they took a cinematic approach to it. So
It
I
definitely
think
feels that way.
that's why there's scenes of like the doorknob while she's taking a shower, and
Yeah.
it just like takes that time to do nothing, and you just see people like walking down a hallway and stuff like that you don't normally see in anime, because I think just because it's so hard to animate everything, it's like we can't waste time having person walk down a hallway,
Yep.
nothing going on. But for this, I think they took the time because they wanted that like cinematic feel to it. I think that's what they were going for, because it definitely feels like that, where there's just moments of like long silence and like kind of like the weird movements and stuff that feels like you're watching a movie instead
Yeah.
of an anime. Because anime is usually more fast paced
Yeah.
in general than like cinematic like movies and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I get that, and it also, to me, it feels like they emphasize parts of the. I don't know. It's weird how they emphasize different parts of the actual story more than others. And I think
Yeah.
it's just how they want to take the artistic approach to the story.
Mm-hmm.
How they want to like give the characters development differently than what they could in the manga itself.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Definitely not a bad show.
Yeah, like the adaptation is really impressive. It's not like it was a mistake or anything. It's just
No,
like
for
they're
sure.
making choices and
Yep.
stylistically how to portray it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it sounds like it's about it for you.
Yeah, I think
Cool.
that's all the anime that I watched this year that's important.
Well, you watched way more than I did, so
Yeah, I watched a bunch of like random seasonal garbage that one year.
Well, that was actually earlier this
Yeah,
year.
earlier this year.
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say.
that one season, I mean.
All right, Ramen Cat. How
Yes.
about you? What do you got?
Well, let's see. I have Jujutsu Kaisen, which was amazing, and I'm
Oh yeah,
waiting
that
for
came out
season
just
2.
last year.
I watched
Yeah.
it during the wintertime, like right after New Year's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
season
Yeah.
2's coming out next year, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait for season 2. That was great show.
Did you see the promotional trailer for it yet?
No, not yet.
Ah,
I still haven't watched Zero either. I plan on doing that this coming up week because I'll have time.
yeah, for sure you need to
It's
watch
on
that.
my list. I haven't seen it yet.
And then I'm just going off like my top favorites.
Oh, for
I
sure.
have a list of like 7 anime that I watched this year.
Okay.
And then Chainsaw Man has actually surprisingly become one of my favorite so far out of these that I've watched because I honestly thought I was gonna hate it. And
Yeah, me too.
I did hate it like at first. Like I really did not like it.
It's definitely not that type of show that you get into.
No, not normally.
Yeah.
But then again, I also like I don't watch kind of horror style anime very much because
Yeah.
normally I just find the stories kind of detracting. But like Weez was saying, it's got kind of a cinematic feel to it, so
Yeah.
it's like scenes definitely build like either suspense or tension with it,
Mhm.
like the whole thing, like Makima and like the temple, like hill and stuff, like
Oh,
preparing all
yeah.
of that. It's like
Yeah.
that
was
whole
great.
episode, like legitimately made me feel like anxious.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the heck is gonna happen? But my absolute favorite this year for shows was Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Not because of Cyberpunk, but just because it was artistically, it was an amazing show. Like graphically, it was just insane, off the walls.
Yeah.
Just, that Studio Trigger playing around with art styles constantly.
Mhm.
Like I got my brother to watch it even. So
Oh, really?
yeah, he really liked it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's one of those shows. I think the thing I'm appreciating the most out of it, because I seen a lot of kind of emotional things in it, but it's kind of neat seeing like on YouTube and stuff that it's like all the different theses and stuff that people are actually pulling from it, and
Yeah.
like realizing that it's like it's actually got a lot of depth and layer to it of just being a person.
Yep, for sure.
And on top of that, just the action is just crazy off the wall. It's definitely one of my absolute favorite animes of like all time.
I've been really meaning to watch it. I might need to sit
It's-
down soon and just.
It's a little
binge it.
rough. It's not something you want to watch with your family. Like it is full throttle a crime show,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but not from like a detective or a cop standpoint. It's from the criminal's standpoint.
Yep.
The ending's a little, it feels a little rushed because I think they were starting to get booked for time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, with like when you look at some of the scenes, the amount of detail, you can probably see why.
Yeah.
Like there's like one scene where main character's walking through like this like alley hallway, and it's like you see all the dirt and the grime and stuff, and then there's a little bit of water on the floor, and you see like all the reflection in the floor. And this is just like an offset scene with like the character walking to the door of his apartment.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but yeah, I feel like kind of high action, a little bit of drama, and just kind of tragedy. Then you'd probably like it. It's a very tragic show.
It reminds me of a show that just came out back in, I think it was 2018 or 2019. I don't know. The years blend together the closer we get to my death. So,
Wow.
well, actually, I'm surprised it's actually turning 2023 because I feel like it's still 2020 in my head. But
Yeah, like time just kind of froze.
yeah.
Mm.
But anyways, it's called Academia Drive.
Okay.
It's kind of like an Ocean's 11 type story where you have these classic archetype characters. Like you have a brawler, you have a doctor, you have a tech, you have an actual like thief, stuff like that. Like they're classic archetype roles and they go by that name, but the story's about them dying off.
That's kind of how this is. My only warning is don't get attached to characters in the show.
I've learned that. After
This
watching,
show has got major Game of Thrones syndrome.
I learned that after watching A Kami Ga Kill,
Okay.
because that's how that shows is, unfortunately.
Other than that, I mean, been watching, like these are shows I haven't finished. Been watching with you guys, Rascal's Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Watch Battlefield Blood Blockade.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great show. I didn't like the second season because it was just a bunch of OVAs.
Yeah, nobody likes that.
But like the actual main show was pretty good.
Yeah, the first season, especially the ending. Oh, the ending was so good.
Yeah.
Like
I
just-
wish it would have spanned a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a one-off thing, the project was literally guys like, hey, I have this cool little idea.
I feel like they could have used the episodes from season 2 and just made season 1 into a fuller show.
Integrated them in there
Yeah.
between.
Yep.
I also watched Ikebukuro Westgate Park, or started to watch it, and then I lost it. Now I found it, so I'm gonna pick it back up. Fyoto PI, which is, for anyone that's familiar with Japan's like superhero genre, Kamen Rider. It's it's a detective / superhero anime.
Oh, that's cool.
It's actually pretty cool. Like it's like at first I wasn't gonna watch after I found out it was a superhero thing, because I was like, it's gonna get the Power Ranger syndrome, and now I'm like watching it. I'm like, it's not bad.
Yeah. Nice. That's
so
cool.
there's some hokey parts in it, but it's not bad. But that's about it. I only got to watch 7 anime this year.
I mean, that's still quite a. Well, it's not a lot, but it's still quite a bit.
I mean, to be fair, most of these were watched when I was sick for a week.
Yeah, it's kind of how it works. I mean, especially when you have a 40-hour-a-week job and a life and another job. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it.
Nice. Cool. All right. Pyrolus, you've been nice and quiet.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead with your anime?
So at the top of the list is The World God Only Knows.
Oh, I remember when you watched that show, you were traumatized for like 2 weeks.
No, that's a different. That's the was from like a year or two ago. That's The Day I Became God.
Oh.
That did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's a good. I recommend it. It's just sad.
So wait, the world God only knows.
The
What
World
is
God
that
Only
about?
Basically, so the main character is this guy, right?
Yeah.
It's called the God of Conquest, self-named and named by others, so that he likes to play dating sims. He can complete and conquest over any girl in any dating sim, right? And
Okay.
it's named God of Conquest.
Yeah.
Well, in this world, there's these demons.
Mhm.
They're called loose souls. They change their name to Weiss later on because you find out more about them. Anyways, so hell is like, hey, these loose souls, they go inside of young women, the empty parts of their heart, and then get born later on as bad demons. We need someone to help us secure these demons, these loose souls. And they come across the God of Conquest, like, that sounds like a promising young man right there. And so they challenge him, like, are you really the God of Conquest, or are you just saying that? He's like, I can conquest anything. Like, all right, contract's made. And he gets a ring around his, like a choker around his neck. And
Okay.
It's not where I thought that was going.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second, where's the ring going for a second?
the ring goes around his neck. And he is forced to pair up with this demon girl. Well, yeah, demon girl. And he has to start conquesting real girls. Otherwise, his head will fall off.
Oh, well, that's a predicament.
So he starts going about it like a game, and he does pretty well.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I recommend it. There's some scenes, I don't know, like you see his character change, and it's saddening because like he has to basically, after every single time he conquests a girl, they forget their memories.
Oh, okay.
Well, later on, what happens is a few of them, for certain reasons I can't specify at this moment, get their memories back, and so they remember him doing these things. Well, one of the girls that didn't get the memories back actually did get feelings for him, but he has to pretend to be a jerk and like not care about her and like
okay.
break her heart basically.
Yeah.
And like everyone's mad at him for it, but it's like, you know why he's doing it, and he's just like, he's hurting so bad over it, but he has to do it in order to save the world.
Right.
And it's just bad. Hurts me in the feels.
Sounds like a very weird and messed up show.
It's pretty great. I recommend it. Watch at least up to season 2. Season 3 might be a bit confusing because there's a OVA. There's 2 OVA episodes after season 2 that you gotta watch. And for some reason, the studio didn't animate some arcs from the manga. They kind of skipped over like an arc
Oh, okay.
too.
I know a couple shows that do that.
So up to season 2 it's really good, but season 3 might be a bit confusing because of that.
Nice.
So if you do want to catch up to it, you got to read up to chapter 140 in the manga, then you'll be caught up with season 3.
Huh. Okay.
It's good though. I recommend it. Like I said, at least season 1 too.
Yeah. What
Best
else
one
you
I've
got?
watched this year. On number 2 is My Mental Choices Are Interfering with My Romantic Comedy.
That show.
Oh, you seen that show?
I've seen it a long time ago.
Okay.
I read the manga like
A Dobbin.
up to I read the manga up to chapter 2. Then I stopped because I got a new phone. And then I found this anime. I was like, oh, I remember this manga. And it's definitely part of the trashime category.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great.
Although the
great.
part I remember the most from is like that little point of hair. It's like a dog tail.
Yeah. When she regains her memory. Yeah, it's a good show. I recommend it.
Okay.
You can't
Cool.
tell by me and Ramen Cat's laughter right now.
It sounds like
It's weird.
It's really
It's
weird,
really
Yeah.
weird.
but it's great.
So one of those weird shows, if you explain it, it just doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
That's why I'm not explaining it.
Yeah, I figured.
Number 3 is Real Life. So Real Life. Boom, don't start crying on me.
Well, I haven't seen Real Life.
Not yet. Real Life is about this guy who's about 25, 26 years old. He's getting nowhere in life.
Wait a second. Hang on a second. When you said not yet, and then you started just going right into it, I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be here for 2 hours.
25, 26?
He's about
That's
25,
me.
26 years
I'm
old.
not going to have to watch the show. He's just going to say every single line of
He's
it.
about 25 to 26 years old, and he's a dead end in life. He's getting hard. He has a hard time with his job. He's basically living as a NEET because he can't get a job. And
Boom's like, I've seen this show before.
someone,
It seems familiar.
so a guy from a company is like, "Hey, you want to join our company? Take this pill, and you'll look like you're 17 again. We're gonna put you back to school. We're gonna rehabilitate you." And he gets rehabilitated as like a high schooler, basically.
Okay.
And he gets to redo life. That's what it's called, Real Life. Because he wanted to redo life, and now he's given the chance to redo life. And he ends out pretty great.
Nice.
There's like
Okay.
2 seasons. They're pretty good. I recommend it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like I just need some weird company to hand me a pill, and I'm all set. I don't know.
Heck,
Like I
I
said,
can do it
stop
for
crying.
you.
No, it's really good.
Make me look like a 17-year-old again?
I might make you look like something.
Like I said, it's
Wait,
called Real
what?
Life. It's called Real Life.
Okay,
It's pretty
cool.
good. After that, I've got If Her Flag Breaks.
If her flag.
If Her Flag Breaks.
Why do all of these, like, if they type it in the Google, I feel like there's a 50-50 chance between a hentai and the show he's talking about.
So there's this.
Because the Census Bureau couldn't figure that out either.
The main character of this one sees other people's flags, like death flags, victory flags, stuff like that.
Okay.
And his goal is to find out why. Also, he has a death flag on himself, and he's trying to find out how to stop it. It's
Okay.
another trash anime.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, though.
I don't know. Those trash animes are pretty. They're interesting.
I like trash
sometimes.
animes because they're interesting and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, this is definitely trash.
Like they
think-
got all the cliches are required to be like a
Yeah.
seasonal anime, but some of them, like, I don't know,
Some
a guy
sound
that
pretty
can
good.
just look at flags and like tell like what's gonna happen to somebody seems like a decent
For
plot.
some reason,
Yeah.
the trash animes always have the songs that slap the hardest. I don't know what it is. They always have the best songs, like what's it called? Like Aramanga Sensei. The opening
Yeah,
and ending
the
songs
opening's pretty
slap.
good. I'm
It's,
not gonna deny
Claris. Claris does a ton of trash anime openings. And
because
Claris is really
Claris
good.
puts out a song like every other day.
Yeah.
And-
I think the thing with trash anime is they always have like the coolest concepts.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then they execute them in the dumbest ways.
Yeah.
It's like it's just their thing. Or they're like, we're gonna set up this unique situation. You're like, cool. And then it's like, also the main character gets a harem. Check this out. You're like, oh.
Every time.
Trash anime is literally just the Japanese version of our like drama shows that play on Prime.
Yeah.
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 Just like there's this quirky family, and we're
You're like-
gonna look at their life.
You're like, cool. And then it's just like dumb stuff happens.
Yeah.
You're like, oh.
And the trash anime is just like, here's this cool title, but you're gonna have to have a tsundere, a
The
kudere.
only
Yeah.
difference is with trash animes, it could actually be good
Yeah,
if they
Yeah.
took more time to flesh out the plot a little bit more.
Yeah, I
There's a
think
lot
that
of
is their
shows.
problem.
there's a lot of shows that like if the manga wasn't so hyped, they would almost be considered just trashimes.
Yeah.
Like almost Sword or not
Sword Art Online's a trash anime.
Yeah.
Sword Art Online is a trashime, but I mean like Rise of the Shield Hero.
Mhm.
Like if the manga
Yeah.
was a nobody manga,
Dude, I love the light novel.
like you could legit just say that was a trashime that turned
Mhm.
into a good show.
I guess,
But a lot of people read the manga before because it's popular
Mhm.
beforehand. So everybody's like, oh, they're just gonna hype this show up.
well, it's like Reincarnated Another World with my smartphone. That manga is really popular, and the manga is all right.
Yeah.
The anime is complete trash. It's a trash anime.
Yeah.
But then you also have weird, I guess would be kind of considered a trash anime is Reincarnated as a Sword.
Yeah,
Like, that would be a
anime
trash
yet.
anime. I think you read the manga.
I know I read the manga. It's an
Yeah.
amazing manga.
The anime is pretty good. So
That's good.
I watched the first couple episodes. Didn't get to finish though. Yeah, I need to finish that as well. But that could definitely be considered a trash anime just because of the concept. It's an isekai.
Yeah.
So it's an isekai trash anime.
I watched
Oh.
two trash anime. I watched the Demon Lord Reincarnated show, which was so trash.
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it was so. It wasn't even trashy. It was just boring.
And then you also watched My
And then-
Stepsister Was My Ex.
yeah,
or
I
something?
dropped that. That was. I watched the Demon Lord show. I could not finish.
There's a difference between trash anime and just bad.
Yeah,
That's
they
true.
were just both so boring. Like that's the only thing trash anime has going for it. It's like
It's so-
interesting how
yeah.
dumb it is.
It's like Arrow manga sometimes.
And then I watched
you hate yourself for watching it, but it's so funny. You
Oh.
can't stop.
what's that show called? Trapped in a Dating Sim.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
liked that
Oh.
trash anime.
Atome Game is number 5.
Otome Game, let's freaking go.
Atome Game.
I
is
felt
great.
my brain leaking out of
It
my
was-
skull after watching.
It's
the
a
first
legit
episode.
trash anime show, but it's so entertaining
Dude, it's
to
amazing.
watch.
Well, it knows it's a trash anime. so
Yeah,
that's why.
That's
so
why it's
great.
good.
Anyways, continue.
That number. Atome Game was legit number
Okay,
5.
I figured that was next.
That was
so.
legit number 5.
I could not.
2D mechs blew my mind. Animation was so garbage, and they did 2D mechs.
How the frick do you get that?
Except for
They
the
did,
final fight.
They did beautiful with the mechs until the final fight.
They just
You
do
get
CG
Every
everywhere.
other anime has like trash CGI mechs, and here comes Atome Game. The
I
only
was
good
just-
part about the art is the mechs.
I was just gonna say you get 2D animated mechs and a trash anime, but you can't get a 2D chainsaw mech.
You can't get a
yeah.
2D Evangelion from what I've seen.
That's true. You can't get a
That's
2D
true.
Evangelion.
And most of like Gundams went to 3D. The newest one didn't, but like a lot of them had CG mechs.
I hear the newest Gundam, Witch of Mercury, does. Nobody's complained about the mech.
Yeah, I've heard that one they actually do 2D again. But they,
But-
for a while, it was like every mech thing was 3D. And then Atome Game was like, no, we're giving you 2D mechs.
But the new Gundam series actually doesn't have that much mechs as far as I know. Like it's mainly like actual slice of life
Yeah.
like story.
That would explain why I was confused trying to watch it.
Probably because you're expecting Michael Bay explosions. and
Yeah,
good
kind of.
romance.
It opened with Michael Bay explosions, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a story about like
A high school
what-
girl.
Oh, it was like it's gonna be a story about this widow now trying to keep her child away from this government faction. No, it cut ahead like 16 years or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like, this is not what I asked for.
Yeah, I hate when shows do that. They like start with a cool premise and then they're like, cut to the future. And you're like, but you had a
I
cool
wanna see
premise
the
and this
past.
sucks.
Give me back the story. Give me back.
Anyway,
It's kind of like all those old cartoons where they take like a live action movie, adapt it into a cartoon, but they change the story where the main characters are high school students because they have to be relatable.
yeah. yeah.
So I mean, almost
Dragon
every
Ball
Disney movie that was turned into a
The
show.
Dragon Ball movie. I was thinking the animated Speed Racer thing that they did.
Oh yeah.
That was
Anyways,
stupid.
Pyrolist.
That was
Yeah.
that was 5 out of 18 animes. If you want,
Wait, what a second? What?
I can.
Are you joking?
Oh,
No, this is just what I remember. I'm pretty sure I've watched more.
okay,
I've watched
you've
at least
done
18
five.
animes this year.
You've done 5.
Yes.
Ramen Cat had 7. So I'll let
Okay.
you do 2 more where you can
Alright.
talk about them, and then you just have to list off the other.
So
17
is it
or
wrong to
whatever.
pick up girls in a dungeon? I watched season 3 of that.
I want to pick that.
I
up.
wanna watch
looks
that
In a
too.
dungeon?
It's
good.
great.
Yes.
It's another one of the light novel was amazing, but the anime was more of a trash anime, but it's a beautiful work of
I
art.
want to pick up Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Yes.
Yes.
All I know
And
is
watch
the
it in
gif-
the dungeon.
The toothbrushing gif.
Ramen Cat. Just think of it this way. You know, not our current sensei at martial arts, but our previous one.
Mm-hmm.
he enjoyed that anime a lot. Like that was one of his favorite shows.
I've seen a couple episodes of it.
Yeah.
Light novel, amazing. Anime, pretty good.
Have you watched Isekai as a slime, reincarnated as a slime?
Yes, I have.
Is it good?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I recommend it.
But anyways, continue. You're
Yeah, that
onslaught.
goes from like trash to like actually has a huge overarching plot.
I saw it when it
to
first came out. I'm like, oh, this is a trash anime, and now it's on the 5th season. I'm like, okay, am I missing something here?
People really hyped it when it came out, but I'd say it's at least the first season's pretty good. Now it's become more of a mid.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Because I don't know. I see more and more people like getting on the hype.
They're just
train.
getting on the hype train.
Okay,
And
so it's
pe-
kind of like Sword
People
Art.
might try to fight me on this, but it's pretty mid now.
Is it one of those things where like it started out with a funny concept and then as it went, it was just like the slime is going to power up and defeat the new bad guy?
It's weird.
Because I see shows do that a lot where they
Yeah.
start out interesting and then they just keep going with it powers up and defeats the bad guy. It powers up and defeats the bad guy.
So kind of like Dragon Ball.
yeah.
Overall, good show. After
Oh,
season
yeah,
1,
Dragon
kind of
have to
mid.
die
Okay.
first.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, continue your list. You got one more.
One more. Hellsing Ultimate.
Nice. You watched it? Oh, that's right. This is the first year I
Yeah.
finally got you to watch it.
I watched Hellsing and Hellsing Ultimate. Pretty good,
Nice.
pretty legit. I don't know. Actually, I changed it. Hellsing first and Hellsing Ultimate.
Okay. You like Hellsing?
I like the original Hellsing.
Yeah.
Shine.
Hey, don't get us copyrighted.
I mean,
Oh, I
other
don't get
than
the
the
license.
really rushed ending of the original,
Dude,
it was so good.
I like the premise of the rush ending of the original.
I was
See,
kind of
that's
confused.
cool.
Blue man go bad.
The premise of it was good, but it was just rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They introduced the villain, which was an anime only villain, and then within 2 episodes, they were doing the final fight.
Yeah.
Like it would have been way better if from the very start they're like, we're just gonna do something different.
Yeah.
You know, Full Metal Alchemist did the same thing. Like they had
Yeah.
a really cool premise at the end, but it was also rushed and the ending was just like really janky,
See,
like weird.
That's
But
my
I
favorite
really
type of
liked it.
premise too, is when
Yeah.
they go into a new world. I'm like, I want to see season 2 of Full Metal Alchemist.
yeah, of the original
Yeah.
Full Metal Alchemist. Like I think Brotherhood's better overall, but like some of the changes they made were really interesting.
Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed Hellsing.
Not
We
a
never
list.
really got to talk about it much. So.
No, we didn't. We never really had the chance.
Yeah, we
Not
talked
a-
about it a little bit, I remember.
So, what did you think of the characters?
Like an Ultimate or the original?
The original compared to Ultimate, because they're way different. A lot of them.
I like the original Alucard
Okay.
more.
He's got more of that abridged feel. To him.
That's I like their
Yeah.
bridged Alucard more than the Ultimate Alucard. I mean, they're cool. It's just Ultimate Alucard. I don't know. Like abridged, he's cringe in like a funny, this is great kind of way.
Yeah.
In Ultimate, he's kind of more cringy in the depressed, sad emo boy kind of way.
That's true.
So like, while I can vibe with it, it's like I prefer the talkative one more.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
You don't want a Sag vampire.
Sad.
No, I don't want Sag Vampire. And then when he gets to be fighting Dracula, he's more sad.
He goes ultimate Sag.
I definitely prefer him being like the dark humor of like that dry dark humor. I just love the dry dark humor.
Yeah.
Just that humor, and then all of a sudden serious like, all right, you've got me. Oh, you want the other guy? Really? You want other? Okay, I give you other guy. I like that version.
Yeah. That's cool. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now you can name off your other 5,000.
Bunny Girl Senpai,
Yeah.
TPN, which is
TPN.
the Promised Neverland.
oh,
nice.
In Another World with My Smartphone, Genjutsu Suji, Charlotte. Watch Charlotte. It's sad. I love it. K, Hellsing.
K.
I said that. Ari Furuta, Bungo Stray Dogs, Kakushi Goto.
do you watch the new season of Ari Furuta?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty
Is it-
good.
Yeah. Nice.
It's another trash man that I
Isn't
love.
Bungo Stray Dogs
Ah.
getting a new season too?
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
it's
I'm
coming out.
excited.
That'll be cool.
What was that, season 4?
Yes. season four.
Nice.
I'm excited.
I feel like that show is in the same realm as like Durarara, where it has multiple seasons, but it's not like super popular either.
Yeah.
It's kind
The
of
show's
like
so underrated.
it's got that
great.
like
I love it.
core fan base that keeps it going, but it's not like doesn't break out like a lot
Feed
of other
the
shows.
beast. It's not from the anime.
I wanna watch
Feed
it.
the Beast. That is Dazai.
Anyways, continue.
After that, Kakushi Goto, and then Overlord.
Nice.
Overlord.
Kikushigota also made me sad. It's a great show. Watch it.
What is it about?
Basically, there's this dad that's raising his daughter.
Oh,
Yeah, that one. The dad is like a
I wanted to
mangaka.
watch that when it was coming out, but I never got around to doing it.
You should. The dad is a mangaka, and he's trying to hide the fact is because he writes like basically the equivalent of high school DxD.
Yeah, he writes Aerogaze.
Yeah, he doesn't want his daughter to find out.
Yeah.
Because she's like 5. So he like leaves home in a tux, gets his place, changes his otaku weeb clothes, and then like the whole premise is around him trying to hide it from his daughter and also trying to be a good dad, and the mom's dead because disease that they don't really mention.
Yeah.
I assume cancer.
Cancer of the common cold. It's Japan, so
Yeah. And then one day, some stuff happens that I want to spoil. You should watch it.
okay. I just remember seeing the one scene where I think the little girl convinces one of their neighbors to come over, and then the little girl just tries getting her dad and the neighbor to like each
No,
other.
that was the housewife. Not the housewife. That was the housemaid.
Housemate. Okay.
Mm.
I just knew it was some kind of like not known person to like them, but it's kind of more like a random person. The little girl's just like, "Oh, you basically should be my mom."
What I like is when Hime, which is the girl's name, and her friends go to the side of town where her dad works,
Mm-hmm.
and the dad dresses up like a woman and uses the power of adults to scare them into fearing adults. So they see that's where the adults hang out. So we're gonna stay away from there because adults are terrifying, like rich adults kind of vibe.
Okay, sounds good.
It's great.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Well, cool. I think that's about all for anime. I got a couple. I only got 3 because I've only watched 3 that are memorable enough for me to really mention.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. You know what? I actually got another
Oh,
one.
I forgot Chainsaw Man. That's 19.
Yeah. So I originally had Chainsaw Man as number 1, but I'm actually gonna put My Hero Academia as number 1.
Oh,
As
he's
the best
he's
ever?
reaching out to the fans.
Here's my reason. I dropped it after season 3.
Yeah.
I was bored with it. And then I picked it back up and started watching season 4, and I'm into season 5 now.
Mhm.
And the way they do this story is great. Like, it's got all the elements of a basic trash anime, right?
Yeah.
Trash anime. But the way they can hype you up and the way they can kind of pull with your feelings on different aspects of it, because they'll have like 3 episodes where they're just doing normal school crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they'll have a fair and they'll have a test and they'll have random stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the next thing you know, one of your favorite superheroes are fighting a villain that somehow got powered up, is getting the living crap beat out of them, and all of a sudden you're crying on your couch, and I'm like, why do I feel like this? I was just smiling 20 minutes ago. So I don't know. My Hero Academia, I am excited to get caught up with it, and I'm glad I picked it up this year. So because I just dropped it like 2 years ago or something like that. So
Nice.
the other ones I have is Chainsaw Man, of course. We already talked about that.
Yep.
Made in Abyss season 2
Oh,
was
yeah.
great.
It's so good.
That was another one where I was just like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. but-
Yeah. You just end the episode, end the like season, you're like,
Oh, when the season ended, I'm just like, no, just continue. I want to see them go.
I
want
know.
to see them go to the next level. I need to see what happens.
It's so fast. The whole world is so fascinating too. You're like, what's the next? This level was so absurd. What's the next level?
I
gonna be
feel like season 1 was just showing us how dangerous the place was.
yeah.
And now that we watch season 2, I was like holding my breath half the time.
Mhm.
Like every single time I saw stairs, I was about to like pass out. So I'm just like, don't go up the stairs. You're gonna die.
Oh, that's such. Oh,
And then there's that one
scene is so
episode
rough.
There's the one episode where the girl is walking up the stairs
Yeah.
and she does
She's
freaking
just,
die. I'm just like, oh god, not again.
yeah, that's rough. She doesn't even like fully transform. She's like half transformed, and it's just
Yeah.
so. Oh,
And like
It's
you
rough.
as a viewer, you can see it. You can see that it's a bad idea for her to do. It's like a horror movie.
yeah.
You
it
can see it's a
is.
bad idea for her to do it. I'm not even 100% sure why she did it.
I think
She was looking for somebody.
She was looking for somebody. She didn't know what was going to happen because they were in that thing for so long.
Yeah,
And it was
exactly.
protecting them. And then it stopped. And then she was like,
And then us as
Just-
the viewers saw the hole in the wall.
yeah.
We're like, oh god.
Yeah. Like,
Oh, no.
no. And she doesn't know what's happening. And then it happens. And you're like, but I liked her.
Robin Cat, you look way too confused. So I'm gonna explain something real quick.
Oh no, I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, in Made in Abyss, if it's an abyss, right? So you go down multiple levels,
Mhm.
but if you start to go back up, you get affected by the abyss curse. So they're far enough down now where if you go too high up, you'll just die.
Yeah.
But if you go up a little bit, you start to transform into this soulless creature,
you lose
and
your
you'll like literally
humanity.
melt away. So like this one scene, this girl, she thinks it's safe because they're supposedly in this protected city, but it's under attack. So the stairs she's walking up has a hole in it, and the curse can get through. So she's walking up it, and you just see her like start to melt up the stairs, and it's like,
It's such a cool world. They describe the curse kind of like how they think of like space time and gravity and stuff,
Yeah.
where it's like there's this thin layer over everything.
Yep.
And you can go up a little bit, but if you start to like push through that layer, it like the curse descends on you.
exactly. Yeah.
So you have to like somehow get through that, and it's really difficult. And there's all this like science experiments about what the curse is, and nobody knows, and the whole like abyss itself is just like fascinating. It's like prehistoric creatures and just really weird stuff. Ancient civilization ruins. Like
Yep.
there's so much to the abyss, and nobody knows why it's there. It's just there.
Hmm.
It's really cool. And then it's got
I think
this
you would
weird,
actually
like,
really like the show because it's got the elements of a mystery,
yeah,
and it does have some horror elements, but it's like it's environmental horror.
Yeah.
Where you're like, if they take the wrong step, they could die.
a lot of people describe it as like eldritch horror.
Yeah.
But it's not like a dreading kind of horror. It's more just like the world. It's like a light horror. It's really weird. Like
it's like
you don't
watching
feel-
a YouTube video of a guy scaling a skyscraper
Yeah.
with just his hands, and you're like, he wants to do it. Like it's something he wants to do. It's not like he's being
Yeah.
forced to, but you still feel the anxiousness of it.
Yeah, it's weird. You don't feel like the dread of it. It's just kind of like it's like an adventure, but also horror.
Yeah.
like mixed. It's really interesting.
But yeah, those are my couple. I do have some other ones.
No,
I
the
can't.
Made in Abyss sounds more like a Cronenberg horror.
It kind of is a Cronenberg horror, actually, but
Great Marty, you Cronenberg the world.
no, actually, that's exactly what they turn into. Is a Cronenberg type monster.
Yeah.
It's really messed up, but yeah. Anyways, those are my anime. So I didn't have a lot. I've only watched like 5 anime throughout the whole entire year.
You watched
I-
Tokyo Ghoul and Black Lagoon. I walked into your apartment
I've
while
seen
you
Black
were watching
Lagoon a
those.
couple times. This was not the first year, but I did just watch Tokyo Ghoul this season, and that was really good. And I forgot that I watched it this season. So
I counted,
yeah,
and as far as I can tell, I've watched 21 anime this year. I dropped 1. 2 were new seasons of like shows I've already seen, but I rewatched the whole anime when they
Yeah.
came out. 1 is just part 2 of JoJo Part 6. I think I watched part 1 of JoJo Part 6 the year before, and Overlord was just season 1. I didn't watch much past season 1.
gotcha.
I
That's
forgot
cool.
about Isekai Oji-san.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that was another one that came out.
Oh yeah. We also watched Dororo.
Oh, I forgot. That's
Yeah,
another-
we
so
all
that,
watched that. That's
that
super
would be
good.
22.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's super
Dororo
good.
was a really that was a highlight. I
I
forgot
watched
about
Rise of the Shield Hero season 2. That was really good.
See, you watch stuff. You just needed
That
to be
would make it
reminded.
22.
I watch anime. It's weird. I'm kind of like you, where if I'm sick or if I decide to like just say frick it all and not do anything one night, I will just binge a whole season. Like I'll just sit down from 6 o'clock at night until like whenever I pass
Yeah.
out and just like binge anime. So like there's times. There was one time I was sick for a week and I watched like 3 anime in a row. And by the time the week's done, I was just like, what was the first anime I started watching?
All right.
So,
well,
yeah.
if that's our anime, what are we moving on to next?
We're gonna move on to a break. So, way I divvied up, this is going the way I hoped. So, the way I divvied it up is everybody that's listening now. This is the anime portion of it. We do have manga next. It won't be as extensive, I don't think.
Oh, I've got 31 manga
Oh,
that I
God.
just have. I've read way
How
more.
about we just skim over the names?
I
I'll do
haven't read like any manga this
That's
year.
my favorite.
Looks
So
like
I
dedicated
got a
towards me.
couple. We have manga, comics, books, and webtoons. So, and then we have video games and movies. These will go a lot faster because obviously this is an anime show, but we want to go over a bunch of different topics. So,
I gotta work tomorrow.
you don't get to worry about that. Anyways,
The second half won't be as long.
It won't be as
the anime.
but yeah, so the anime is the main portion. If you want to stop now, go ahead. But we'll see the rest of you at the end of the break.
Add time.
Hey everyone, and we're back.
Yay!
Yay, we are back.
We're trapped. It snowed about 6 feet
But we
over
got
the
booze,
door.
So it's okay.
Over the door.
Over the door.
The storm came.
That
it was
just
just
means
as
we
bad
get to
as they
stay
said.
nice and warm because somehow the power's
I'm
still
eating
on.
you first.
What? Pete Pyrolis.
It's not bad when it's
I don't
snowy
think
and
so.
cold.
He's got more muscle.
Wait, that's not good. You want the fat.
I gotta save him so he gets nice and plump and out of
What do
shape.
you think meat is?
Yeah, but the thing is, if there's a good layer of fat over the meat, you cook the.
You
fat
got a
off
good
it's
layer
nice
of
and
fat over
tender.
the meat.
Anyways,
let's
what are we
pick up
doing?
where we're-
This is why you can't drink.
Yeah, Terry's
Any
had
of you.
Oh, Round Cat's had a few more sips than the rest of us. By which I mean I haven't started yet. This is me normally. I'll take it from here, folks. All right. So Ramen Cat, you had another sip. How do you think of the whiskey?
It's good, but we're not doing this segment yet
What do you mean? Why not?
because we got to get through our lists.
Yeah, we gotta get through our list.
All right.
Yep. All right. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the manga, comics, and books and webtoons that we have consumed this year.
All right.
So, Pyrolis, you go first.
All right. Number 1, Initial D.
Okay, cool. You
It's
read
about
through it
racing.
all?
It's over 1,000 chapters.
That's why I asked.
I've not read through it all yet.
Okay,
I'm on like chapter 2, 300, somewhere around there.
nice.
Pretty good. Number 2, Kono Sekai ga Game Dato Ore Dake ga Shitero.
Well, some Japanese person just died.
It's about this.
listening to this, but okay.
It's about this guy that gets trapped into his video game. It's a buggy game. Like the game
How
is
original.
this game is notoriously known for its bugs,
Okay.
and he uses those bugs to become powerful.
The question is, are they literal bugs?
No, they're game bugs. So like, there's one bug where you can max out your stamina and running distance by running into a wall in front of a nun while she stares at you.
Sounds like typical Souls.
So you have
tech
to do it
right
for like
there.
24 hours.
So
So
he's
it's just 24 hours him running into a wall while the nun stares at him.
Did he just have to pay the nun off or something?
No, the nun just silently stares at you.
so he's a speedrunner.
No, he is not.
I was just thinking the average Fallout New Vegas speedrunner. Daily life. I'm gonna break my legs so I can fly.
Yeah, it's basically what he does. Stuff like that. Like everything has HP except for this candle. This candle is like
So you
beautifully
use it
made.
as a weapon.
No, but it's a permanent light source because light sources are
Oh.
expensive.
Nice.
So the handle to the candle doesn't have a life. It does have an HP source.
Oh.
So he breaks the handle and takes the candle.
Okay.
Number 3 is turns out my dick was a cute girl.
You read all of that?
You read all of that.
All that's updated. Yes, I'm waiting for more. So artists, get out there, make some more. I want to read more.
So, for a little clarity, this was something we stumbled across like one recording night. And Pyrola started reading it, and
Dude, it's hilarious.
yeah,
I love it.
things happened.
My penis is gone. Oh wait, there she is.
Wait, she.
Yeah, his penis is.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just.
Great. And when he gets like a hard on, she becomes an adult.
Oh, I forgot
She
that
grows.
part. Oh, I forgot that part. Why is this? Why does this exist? Why is it not a head
And her
tie?
hoodie represents force.
I know. Stop. Then she cries.
It's great. I love it. It's hilarious, but there's only like 15 chapters. You need to get off
It's only
your rump
15.
and produce more.
I think he just ended his life after 15 chapters.
No, I just think someone isn't translating over.
It's more like, why did I go to art school for this?
But after that, there's Goblin Slayer, Konjiki, One Punch, Monkey Peak. Monkey Peak's really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suggest right now. It's basically like this group of people from a company gets trapped on a mountain and they're being hunted by the monkey of the mountain.
Okay.
They have to fight to survive.
Fight
Really
the
good.
monkey.
It's like a psychological horror. I enjoy it.
Oh, that's cool.
Vinland Saga,
Ooh.
Jimina Kensei wo wa Sore Demo Saikyo Desu.
Ooh.
Another Japanese person died.
I'm
singing
not
that.
Japanese, and I think I just died hearing that.
Dark Gathering, which I also like. You might like this, Ramen Cat. It's a manga about this. It's a bunch of another psychological horror. Basically, this group of younger people, like there's two 16 and 17-year-olds and like an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
That go around and try to kidnap spirits. Like they solve cases and kidnap spirits. And try to make them
Interesting.
powerful. It's pretty interesting.
That's cool.
So it's a bunch of kids trying to score booze.
Series 2 is Dark Gathering.
I don't know.
Huh? Thought I seen something.
Kanojo Mo Kanojo, which is the one trash anime that came out about the guy who has all these girlfriends. Like my girl, like I forget what the English translation is, but it's a trash anime that came out.
Girlfriend.
Yes, that one. Girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
I actually legitimately had to translate what he said in Japanese.
The manga is pretty good. I like it. It's funny. It's cringe. I haven't seen the anime yet.
Hmm.
Lonely Attack on a Different World. It's based about a guy who just wants to be a loner, but no one he's in a different world. He just wants to be alone. No one's letting him be alone. So he's solving these issues for these countries so that way he can just be alone.
Hmm.
And no one lets him.
That's cool.
Chikusushi no Slow Life Isekai ni Sukuro Drugstore. A guy gets reincarnated, owns a drugstore. Guy Kotsu Kishi-sama Taidama Isekai I Odekake Chu. Man,
No Dekakichu.
man, reincarnated. He's a bone man, just a skeleton. He's trying to get his skin back. Ori no Genjitsu wa Renai game. Ka to Omotara. His
I'm
world.
so sorry, everybody. If you know Japanese,
This
I'm
guy's
so sorry.
this guy's world becomes a game world, and he's a detective. And he has to like solve cases.
Okay,
Otherwise, he will die.
cool.
But it's pretty cool, pretty
Yeah.
good. Inochi Gake no Game Data. I forget what that one is, but I read it and I remember it being good.
Okay,
Probably just
when you say
suggested a
Gake,
hentai.
is it Jaka or is it
Are you talking about Inochi Gake?
yeah Gake?
I didn't
It's
do anything.
Gake.
A-K-E?
Yeah, AKE.
A-K-E.
The full word is
That's
I-N-O.
Ake, not Ake.
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 You're the one taking the Duolingo.
That's why I'm telling you right
The next one is Isekai Eroto Survival Sakaitsu Gakko no Minato. This guy basically, he gets reincarnated in another world. He's a cook. Whatever he eats, he gains the power of.
that's interesting.
It's pretty cool.
I eat the
Isn't
power
that-
of a puffer fish.
Isn't that
I would eat the power of a
It's part of
skillet.
Isn't that the plot of Healer Isekai?
No.
What's it called?
No, redo of healer. That's
Yeah.
not- no.
That's
Isn't it the
not how
same
he
thing?
gets
He
his
gets like his
powers.
powers from healing
No, he
people.
gets his
No.
powers from pounding the parts of places of people.
No, he
Uh-huh.
doesn't.
Yeah, but
That's a
would-
different
Reese would
hentai.
believe it though.
So yeah, it's basically the same thing. It's just
No, he can heal people, and then he can get their learned memories. He doesn't get their powers.
oh, okay.
He gets their memories of stuff. So he like healed like the.
but
best
doesn't that like
warrior in the
level
world.
him up because he gets all?
It doesn't level him up. Basically, he. How did he do it? He beat the demon queen, demon lord, and then basically took the thing she was hiding and reset the world.
Yeah.
But he stayed the same.
Okay.
He kept
Makes
all his
sense.
memories.
He kept all of his memories, so he was able to level up super fast. So while they were traumatizing him, as his hero party was traumatizing him, he just leveled up in the background. He would like drink all the poison on
Yeah.
purpose. That way he gained poison resistance and stuff like that. And then that's when he reenacted his revenge.
Okay, but you're telling me this guy in this manga, he eats a bat and he becomes Batman.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, well, a bat, he eats a spider and then he just changes to Spider-Man.
What if he's Bat Spider-Man?
Bat Spider-Man.
S
make it a thing.
What if you eat Superman?
And
Ore
you
no
become an average newspaper writer.
Musume Tachi wa Judo no Father Kan Deshita? Basically, this guy was an adventurer. He ended up accidentally wiping out a village. Felt bad because he couldn't save them, so he saved like 3 girls and raised them as their daughter. They end up falling in love with him.
Whoa!
Despite him being their raised father, I think they're the biological father, but I think one of them just figured out that he's not the biological dad. So I think Pandora's box is about to be open.
Why?
I was caught up in a hero summoning, but that world is at peace. This was pretty good, pretty slick. I enjoy it very much. I recommend it.
Okay.
This guy basically he can sense the words, he senses the mood of people, and he can figure out how to calm them. And he is a cool guy, a chill guy, and he ends up getting all the demon lords to like him
Okay.
and not want to kill him.
Nice. Well, cool.
Kanojo ni uwakai sarataita orega kaokuma na kohai
They can
ni
translate everything except the title somehow.
I know.
Natsukara taimasu. Basically, this guy, he
My brain.
I am so sorry.
Japan
guy-
just sucks at names.
this guy, he gets like one of his kohais gets a crush on him and like helps her and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's a slice of life. Dairito Kotoro Ryo.
See, the problem is all these titles are in hiragana,
Mhm.
which is the extended version. If it was in katakatana,
Yeah.
or I even mispronounced that.
Katakana.
Anyways,
Katana, yeah.
katatana, it would be like 2 kanji.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, just 2 symbols for what
2
it is.
symbols,
Yeah.
but they have to pronounce the whole thing.
I forget what this manga is, but I did read it. Some of these I can
Also-
remember from the name, some of them I can't.
You know, when you have certain manga and stuff, like, even though I've never seen it, when you can just simplify it to something like, I don't know, Blue Lock,
Yeah.
ReZero,
Yeah.
and just do that versus
Even Reason.
Giant Thing.
Do you know the full title of ReZero?
Yeah.
ReZero starting life in another world?
It's
Oh,
actually
yeah.
ReZero real life.
Yeah.
Starting in
That's
another
true,
world
yeah.
from zero.
But then there's also Kanasuba,
Yeah.
blessing
God's
God's blessings on
wonderful
this wonderful-
blessing and in this
Yeah.
wonderful world. God's blessing.
Darwin's Game, which is also another anime that I watched this year.
Yep.
It's kind of a trash me, but it's kind of not. It's pretty good. I like the manga. Isekai Oji-san, reincarnated as an aristocrat with an appraisal skill. That one's decent. I like it. I became a legend a decade later after telling my comrades to leave everything to me and retreat. That's another good one.
That one just got no excuse. That's just overly complicated.
That just sounds like a one panel. So I told my men to flee. Now I have everything.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a good one.
Gandalf.
Yeah.
Well, basically, no. This guy, so he stays in the tunnel fighting the demon lord, and he fights him for like 20 some years. And like while he's fighting
Like
him,
one does.
like one does. As he's fighting them, he's gaining like their health and stuff. So he went in there like 26, comes out, he's like looking 14 to 16, and his friends are like 40 some, and he's like, something's going on here.
Okay.
The death mage who doesn't want a 4th time, no, this is not a hentai. Boom, get your mind out of the gutter. This is not a hentai.
I was just waiting for the explanation of why the title is so weird.
Basically, it's about this guy who gets isekai with his classmates. One of his, like, something weird happens where someone poses as him, but it's not him, and takes his power. And so the god basically gives him a poo-poo power,
Okay.
and then he's thrown in the world, and then he dies because, like, I forget what happens. Something happens that makes him.
He doesn't want to be reincarnated as a 4th time.
Yeah, he doesn't want to reincarnate a 4th time.
Okay. Gotcha. Continue.
Okay. Did you think you could run after reincarnating Nissan?
Okay. I can
Vroom,
guess
vroom.
that.
It's a yandere.
Yeah. That actually
little
sounds
fish, yeah.
interesting.
It is. It's not for the faint of heart.
All right. How many more do you got?
I got 3 more.
Okay. We've been going for 20 minutes.
Congratulations to those who survived.
Yamemasu Sugi no Shokuba ha Maojo. This is also an anime that I watched. Forgot about that. It's pretty good.
I just heard Mao, and my mind's made up. It's about like the dictator.
It's about
Nice.
this hero.
No,
Because like
it's about the dictator.
there's basically demon lords attack the world. They attack.
So the Allied forces.
The history of the world.
America.
The history of the world is that demon lords have been attacking since like modern day. This guy is an artificial life form that was made in modern day, and he's been fighting every demon lord forever, and he just wants to die.
Huh. Well, this could legit just be China.
Could be.
VR
Could just be AI in a
VR
nutshell.
Eroge Yatara Isekai ni Tensei Shita no Bishoujo Mao wo Doreku Suru Crossout
I'm
Saber.
pretty sure with that VR, it just is a VR hentai fan thing.
I'm not
Yeah.
explaining the plot of that. I think Boom understands from the second word that I said.
What second word did you
VR
say?
Eroge Yatara.
Oh God.
It's pretty good. It's funny. I like it. Other than that, there's Kono Shitara Ken Deshita, which is reincarnated as a sword.
Oh, okay.
Pyrolus is like, I've only got 2 left. Okay, the first one is Korewa Kai Shang King 1 2. The third dash
Shut up and
exclamation
drink your
point.
whiskey.
Kuwa Tiny.
Alpha Foxtrot.
Oh.
Zulu.
Starts issuing airstrike commands.
There's some poor
Delta
Ukrainian
0909.
and Russian soldier where they're just like, why are all our drones going haywire? Turns out just some control operator was listening to the podcast. That's the code to hack them.
I've self-destructed all of them.
Okay, well, that's all of them that you read. Some recommendations.
Not all that I read. If you want, I can give all that I read.
I think at this point, anyone that has survived or may survive through that, like, we love you.
Thank you for listening. I
Thank you for
appreciate your
listening.
support.
If you would like to file a lawsuit, Boom's
No,
address
please
is
no.
999-99-9.
Hey, don't worry. I'm only here for like 4 more weeks. You don't got to put up with
For
me too long.
airstrike coordinates on Pyrolus, that would be X to something something.
It's variable.
Just don't do it tonight when I'm driving home. Wait, no, do it right then.
We can
Time travel back in
Boom, we
time.
can get isekai together.
No.
We can be merchants.
No.
Fox girls forever.
What?
Yeah.
I got isekai'd with my annoying friend.
And we both got turned into.
And now we're...
I know. I have a harem of fox girls.
Oh, I thought we both got turned into
No.
fox.
That would be a
No.
great plot, though. Like, I want to get isekai'd and have a fox girl harem, and then you get isekai'd and become a fox girl
I'd still
in a
have a
harem.
fox girl
It's
harem.
like, no.
I still have a fox girl harem if I was turned into a fox girl.
He would just be the leader of the pack.
I would.
Or the
I would
small
show my
runt that they
dominance
eat.
very well.
Okay, Ramen Cat.
I'm just gonna keep mine to a brief no synopsis.
It's
Just
like 30 of them on here.
I got
What?
I got
No,
15.
not again.
No.
I started reading Jujutsu Kaisen. I read
Okay.
Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Hated it.
Yeah, I'm still.
I'm gonna
confused on
watch the
that.
movie because the movie probably is a million times better. Now the rest of these are all webtoons, so a lot of them either are like actual full chapters or just episodic. Little
Gotcha.
Single panels. I have God Please Make Me a Demon, which was pretty good. Psychological horror / eldritch horror one that's called Stagtown. Another one called Watermelon. And yeah, okay, that actually like is one of those stories that makes you cry at one point, and it's like, oh my goodness, this got dark.
Okay.
It's about like these 2 orphans in this world where like albinos are loathed and like hunted down.
And they're albino.
The sister is, but her little brother ends up getting sick, so she goes on like this quest across like the world to find a cure.
Oh.
And,
And
the cure's just watermelon the whole time.
No, watermelon was literally like this little thing. It's just named after a little thing of like, that's like the one thing the little brother remembers about their mom was her like getting a watermelon for them because they live on the streets.
Mm.
That was like his last memory of her before she died.
Are albinos
That'd be
not
a
being
sick
hunted?
twist, though, if watermelon
What?
was
Are
the cure.
albinos not being hunted right now? I thought.
No.
Am I
they're
getting my
not.
job wrong?
Wait, what?
From the same or not or these 2 are from the same author. not as watermelon, but like they're just together. It's Insecurity and You've Got to Be Kidding Me.
I remember You Gotta Be Kidding Me. I like
Yeah.
that one.
That one is great because it's literally like the story is a comet goes by Earth and all cats turn into cat people.
Yeah, it's
And
adorable.
so
I
they're
love
living
it.
with like human society, and it's just
I recommend it.
It's great.
That's funny.
That's epic.
And then Insecurity is just the authors like it's just a little one-off like that was meant to be a newspaper comic series.
Okay.
But it's just goofy antics of like a couple. Evelyn of the Occult, which I don't know if it's set in like South America or Mexico, but it's about this girl and her friends who like they are constantly trying to find this paranormal like proof of the paranormal.
Yeah.
And then it turns out like she's actually a witch. And like it just like deep dive. It goes from like, oh, it's gonna be they're always gonna just miss the supernatural stuff to it just like nosedives into it's like, oh yeah, South American folklore.
Oh, cool.
And then Lovely Hell, which is about like the daughter of Azazel getting like thrown out into Earth and her trying to get back to hell.
Oh, that's cool.
And she's being helped by Cain, who's like reincarnated constantly.
I'd help her.
Tales of Outcast or also Irma, which are just kind of it's a weird thing that this author Outcast Studios has done with this because Irma started out as like this kind of cutesy, just like feel good comic strip, but Tales of the Outcast are like, yeah, we're gonna flesh out the world, and it's like this dark world of like monster hunters and things like that. Shark Girl Yumi, which is basically just a slice of life. It's actually pretty funny. Warrior Executioner, which is kind of a berserkish style comic. It's really detailed artwork and stuff. The translation's a little iffy because it's a South Korean comic.
Okay. Well, I think it's South Korean. I don't know if they release North Korean ones.
Did I say North?
No, you said South.
Oh yeah, no.
But
Sorry.
that was something.
Level 1 Housewife, which I thought was funny because it's literally a NPC peasant marries like this like hero.
Yeah.
And it's just the awkward exchanges between the characters. And then my favorite actually is the Dark World, which are little one or two off panels that this person does of these comics. Like he's building this like world telling about like the supernatural events and stuff. It's done in like a very scribbly storybook style. It's kind of off-putting a little bit.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's what I got. I would say sadly I don't remember the name of all the authors for these, but I would definitely say if you do read webtoons to go give them a look.
Yeah, I need to get back into webtoons. I was reading I'm Not the Grim Reaper?
Oh, I'm the Grim Reaper.
I'm
That's
the Grim
such a
Reaper.
good. I hope they
Yeah.
print that, honestly.
I do too. I would totally buy a collector's edition or something like
Yeah,
that.
I would too. There is one other one on here I forgot to add. It's a really, really good, like kind of steampunkish style story. It's called Of Sea and Swamp.
Okay.
It's about this girl that she hires a guy to hunt this monster that killed her father. He botches something like when he goes to kill the monster and ends up possessing the girl. So she has like these weird like mist wolf abilities, but it's like they're like just basically them traveling the world and trying to avoid other hunters and stuff that are after. But it's like it
Cool.
also has like this thing of like he's being followed by this thing called the Traveler that like it's a monster that whatever it looks on just basically disintegrates with time.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's pretty good. Like I liked all of these because they're very well fleshed out for what they are.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, not to sound mean, a lot of kind of poorly put together stories.
Yep.
And all of these seemed very, very good. If they did a print run on them, they'd be great.
Nice.
But that's all I got.
Cool. How about you, Weez?
I haven't read any manga.
He's illiterate.
Fair enough. I mean, you don't have to have anything for each category.
I've read some books.
Well, what books did you read? That's
I
definitely
read
something.
a few of the Harry Potter books, like the first 3, I think. And I'm
Okay.
working my way through the next one. I need to get back to reading it.
Nice.
Harry Potter's good. It's the first couple of them, they blend together a little bit because a lot of the plot's very similar.
What is about a man with a face in the back of his head and the other one's about a giant snake?
Yeah, they all kind of
Snake.
like go the same way. It's like Harry goes to wizard school. He hangs out at wizard school for a while. Something happens at the end of the year at wizard school. He has to save the day. He has to save wizard school. Then the next episode, next book, he goes back to wizard school. Things happen during wizard school. Something bad happens at the end of wizard school, and he has to save wizard school again.
I have
Huh.
a,
And it kind of repeats that a little bit, but they're all different and interesting.
Yeah.
I've got a
So-
theory. Going through public school, end of the year was when you're supposed to have exams. So I think he used that to get out of going to exam.
And then
What if the bad things were the exam?
They only happen to him though.
That would
That's
seem
true.
like a good wizard thing. Well, maybe
Yeah.
they're like, this is the chosen one.
I don't remember if it
He's
was
your
this year, but I
exam.
read that one J.K. Rowling book. That was like her first adult novel. I don't remember if that was this year or not. I thought it was.
Was it 50 Shades of Grey?
No, it was like a town where with a bunch of awful fake people doing awful fake people things. And then the ending of it
Like hoeing around.
is like all the awful fake people have to stop being fake, and then they deal with some of the problems, and they do really awful things in front of everybody, and then they kind of start to deal with their problems. One group doesn't deal with their problem and just kills themselves after their little brother got killed, that died. Like, this is a very like drama story.
Okay.
With not like, it's not actiony, like there's no peril or anything. And the ending of the story, the one kid, there's this one family that it's kind of centered around. Major spoilers for this book, I don't even remember the name of it, but there's this one family it like centers around that are like, they live in like the bad part of town.
Yeah.
And she's been going out with this guy, and they're in the bushes while they stopped looking at their stopped watching her little brother who went into the river and drowned.
Oh god.
And then she couldn't handle that, so she went home and took her mother's drugs and overdosed.
All I got from this
Wow.
is the lines waiting in the bushes of love. And I would not save your kid.
So it was a yeah. There was also like another lady who was having problems with her husband but wouldn't tell her about it, and she like molests a kid at a party.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's just some like random messed up stuff that happens at the end.
Wow. J.K. Rowling went from happy Harry Potter to,
Yeah.
Harry Potter apparently
Yeah,
wasn't so happy.
I guess not.
I liked the book, but I wouldn't like recommend reading it.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was
Okay, interesting.
interesting. She's just really good at like writing the prose itself. So just
Yeah.
like reading it is entertaining. But
Oh, cool.
I don't know. That's pretty much all I read. I started
Nice.
rereading One Piece, I guess.
Okay. Nice.
Wait,
Rereading it.
Oh my
I made it till
goodness.
like chapter 600 or something, and then I stopped because I didn't have the next like box set, and I want to read it physically. And then I got the next box set, and I was like, I should reread it to remember what happens. And I'm starting to reread it and forget what happened because it's just so long. But I don't know. You can reread it like a million times, and you're like, I forgot all this stuff happened.
This is great.
Yeah, it's a fun adventure. It's just really super freaking long.
Who's checking for the whiskey?
I'm just trying to figure out how much he drank.
I didn't drink that much.
So boom.
What did you read?
What'd you read?
Well, technically, I read a couple things this year and also listened to a lot. I got into audiobooks this year.
He's an
Okay.
audiophile.
So, yes, technically I am because I like high end audio. But, anyways, I
It's some
read,
ASMR, folks.
I started reading Kaiju number 8 this year. That's really good. I really enjoy Kaiju number 8. It's getting a anime adaptation in 2024.
Oh, nice.
And it looks really good. Basically what it is in this world, kaiju are, it's set in a world like
Oh,
the
you told me about
Godzilla
this one.
world, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Where kaiju are a normal occurrence and they have a task force that's designed to take them out. But since there's giant dead kaiju around, they also have to have a cleanup squad, right?
Mhm.
And the story centers around this 30-year-old guy. He was going to go into the task force with his childhood friend, this girl. She ends up becoming the head of the task force because she's like super talented, super powerful. And he ends up just kind of ending up in the cleaning squad.
Mhm.
Well, one day, this giant, I think it's like a class 6 or whatever, kaiju, the ones that are like Godzilla size, ends up coming into the city. The task force takes it out pretty easily, but they're cleaning it up. And as they're cleaning it up, he somehow gets infected.
Gets
Well, he doesn't
kaiju
somehow.
STDs.
Basically, he's in the hospital because he gets wounded because another smaller kaiju ends up coming and trying to eat them while they're cleaning up the big kaiju. And while he's in the hospital, this small parasite-like kaiju, for whatever reason, and they're starting to get into the reason why he got infected, but very on purpose, like comes up to him and just like shoves himself down his throat. Like he gets purposely eaten, like the parasite kaiju just like
Kaiju STD.
yeah, basically. And that allows him to turn into a human-sized kaiju. And there's other human-sized kaiju, but they're not originally human. They're just kaiju that are human form.
Okay.
And basically now that he's powerful, now he has the power of the kaiju, he wants to join the task force. But of course, if anybody on the task force knows that he's a kaiju, they're going to exterminate him with extreme prejudice. So he's trying to hide his kaiju powers while he's also trying to do good for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's this whole scene where one of the training exercises go wrong, and in order to stop this kaiju from basically shooting this one girl, he like gets in front of him and allows him to like shoot at him while transform into a kaiju. But like he only like transforms like part of his body in certain scenes as well. So that way like his human side is like showing towards the people, but his kaiju side is like taking damage and stuff.
This plate armor was really effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like there's this one scene, since he's a 30-year-old man,
Hmm.
he's kind of hard to like go through the training exercises. So like he transforms his legs and makes it where people can't see his legs. That way he can like run the race and stuff. It's kind of got a lot of humor, but it's really good story. Another one I watched or actually listened to, I'm gonna get into the audiobooks, is I read through the Star Wars Darth Bane trilogy,
Nice.
which is a really good trilogy. I would suggest if anybody wants to get into like Star Wars books and they're a fan of books kind of like Game of Thrones or even like Harry Potter and stuff,
Mhm.
stuff that deals with a lot of kind of mystical aspects. The Darth Bane trilogy is really good because it kind of starts off with how did the Sith end up like they are in the movies. Darth Bane is
Yeah.
the first one to kind of make the Sith the rule of two, where there's a master and apprentice.
Mhm.
And he's also one of the few last Sith that really delved into Sith alchemy and Sith sorcery and such. So there's a lot of cool scenes, and it's a really good story. And the cool part is all the Star Wars audiobooks are produced by Random House Audio. So they're full production. They have music. They only have one narrator, but he's like a professional narrator that
Yeah.
basically like makes you forget that you're listening to a dude talk as a girl type of narrator.
Yeah.
Lightsaber noises.
Lightsaber noises.
Yes.
Lightsaber noises, blaster fires,
Yes.
like ship sounds, like all that, like
Yeah.
everything.
They do it really well too. It's not like distracting.
No,
just
it's
like-
not like they're talking about combat and you just hear. It's like
Yeah.
actual like he's talking about like the fight scenes, and like when he says the two lightsabers connect, like you hear like the actual connecting of the
Yeah.
lightsaber and stuff.
It's really well done.
Another series I picked up, and I'm on book 4, is called Expeditionary Force series. And basically what this is about, and Pyros would actually really like this series. It is basically what happens when a military grunt all of a sudden gets sent to outer space to be part of a proxy war between two alien races. And so what happened? And it's basically from the perspective of military grunts and like low-level military people.
Man, what's this called?
Expeditionary Force. It's a book series. It's got like 15 books or something like that. It's really good. It gets into a lot more wild stuff, but the first couple books, basically, this alien race ends up coming to Earth.
Yeah.
And this guy is taking leave in Maine. Nowhere, Maine. And this spaceship just crashes in his town. So he's like, well, shit, I swore. He says, there's a lot of swearing in the book, so I was copying him. But he's like, oh, shoot. Well, I guess I gotta go fight the aliens now. So he gets his whole town together, and they find a bunch of weapons, and they fight the aliens off. Well, anyways, that gets him promoted somehow. He's like as surprised as like that he got promoted. as
Wow,
anything.
pushing off an alien invasion as a soldier somehow gets you promoted.
But anyways,
Interesting. I gotta take notes.
the humans get their butts kicked, but this other alien race comes and helps them fight off the bad aliens, right? So that alien race is like, hey, you guys are in this war now. Earth is
No.
technically part of this war.
No,
So why don't
they
you become
didn't.
a Patreon? We're going to become your patron alien race, and we're going to take your army and fly you to a random planet. We're going to give you training and stuff, but we're going to fly you to a random planet, and you're going to have to fight our war for us.
They did us like we did the Middle East.
Yeah,
That's
exactly,
dirty.
yeah. So basically, Earth becomes this proxy army for this really advanced.
We have
alien
become
race.
Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Whereas
And
the other
it's-
alien race is Russia
It's
using
cool
Pakistan.
because they put a lot of military things into it. It's like a lot of military bureaucracy and tactics. And it's all from the point of view of this military soldier that likes being a soldier, but he also doesn't. He also realizes all the bull crap that comes with being a
Space
soldier.
Force before the Space Force.
Yeah, they're actually called the Space Expeditionary Force, UNF something, basically UNFC type like acronym.
Yeah.
But that's a really good series. It's another good audiobook series to read too, because the author or the voice actor for it's got this kind of Western draw
Mm-hmm.
to his accent. So it really puts you in the mind of like just like this random soldier, like Western soldier dude, just like going out and doing things.
From Maine.
From Maine. So,
This Western soldier from Maine.
but they called, but like they go into like little, even like little. I like the little details of the book
Mhm.
because like one of his friends is called Corn Pop, right?
Mhm.
Because he's Southern and he likes cornbread,
Mm.
and they have it's.
That doesn't seem like a stereotype at all.
Well, they don't
Get me
mind
some
like using the
cornbread.
stereotypes because it's just a bunch of soldiers doing their thing. Like,
yeah.
but it's cool. There's a Chinese soldier because all of America, all of the world becomes one army once they're in space. So there's Chinese soldier that's just like, yeah, we have as much crap as the U.S. Army does, and like all that stuff. So it's fun. You'd get it if you're enjoying
And they're-
military culture.
Then their weapons start getting jammed. Like, why are our guns not shooting like American guns are?
No, they get space guns with
Oh.
rocket propelled bullets.
Does everyone get space guns with the rocket propelled bullets?
What?
Does everyone get those
Yes.
guns? Okay.
Space Force flying like an eagle through space.
But those are my books, so I technically have a couple. I read my I listened to my first Stephen King book. That's
Okay.
pretty good.
Nice.
But besides for that, that's about it for me for books.
Cool.
What's
Yeah.
category 2?
The second to last category is video games. What'd you all play this year? We'll start with Ramen Cat.
What?
What'd you play for video
I feel
games?
targeted here.
You are targeted.
You are targeted.
Well, let's see. I don't have them on the list, but I played a game called Cultic.
Cult?
Chapter 1, actually, of it, because Chapter 2 hasn't come out yet. It is a game. It's brand new, but it's stylized and mechanicked like old build engine games, like old Duke Nukem 3D and things
Okay.
like that.
Mhm.
But it's got a ton of like mechanics and interaction with the world and stuff.
Nice.
Like you have like you can get things like sticks of TNT and stuff, and there's like 10 different ways to go about massacring the enemy with it.
Okay.
So that's a fun game. I played a ton of Elden Ring, pretty much like a week and a half after its release up until maybe a couple months ago.
And then you
And-
started playing it again.
Yeah, I played it
last
last
night.
night with you and forgot that I had just about every weapon from the game.
All right, so I know me, Wheeze, and Ramen Cat all have Elden Ring as like the main game that we probably played this year. So why
Yep.
don't we just talk about it now so we don't all individually talk about
I think it deserved its Game of the Year thing.
It
Not for
definitely did.
graphics or anything.
Nope.
'Cause graphics weren't that. I mean, the graphics are good. I was like, when we were watching the cutscene, I was like, this is pretty good, better than I remember it.
Yeah.
It was more the world building. I don't care what anyone says, but the abstractness of the world was not as bad as previous games.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it felt like everything made sense. Everything connected, especially when the community kind of came together and put everything together. It's
Yeah.
like, this is what's going on. It's like, holy crap, I see this all going on in this world.
Yeah, I think that is one. I think the world building is best in this game than like Dark Souls I played through. There's no world building in Dark Souls.
No.
It's just like really vague, stuff and
You
imagery going on
legitimately have to read every item
Yeah,
description to get the
to
lore.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing at the end unless you really like look into it. Like
At least in Elden Ring, you get, okay, I have to go kill demigods because they stole parts of the ring.
yeah,
And then, when you kill a demigod, you're like, oh, I get the ring. Okay. Well, then I go and I have to like unite the ring and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like it's
they at
simple
least,
stuff that where you get what you're doing.
And,
yeah,
well,
they at least give you the basics
The
of
cool
like, what you're
thing
doing.
is too is like with every demigod you're going after, when you go to their areas, the environmental storytelling is
Yeah.
amazing because
Yeah.
every single one's like, okay, what is going on here? What happened?
Yeah.
Why is this like this?
That's the thing too, where it's not just the items or like random stuff that people tell you that matter. It's like everything you walk through. When you see a carriage that's been destroyed or whatever, it means there was people that went through here and got destroyed by these creatures or
Yep.
something. Like every single part of the story is in the environment itself,
Right
and that's
down to the
really cool.
jellyfish.
One of my favorite
Yeah.
quests is the Weeping Hollows quest, where
Mhm.
you're supposed to go to the castle and retrieve the dad because the blind daughter sitting on the side of the road.
Yeah,
You walk 100 yards down the road from her, and her carriage and all of her
Yeah.
guards are dead and stuff. Some of them are like undead, and then I guess spoilers technically for the end of the quest, but like you go and retrieve her dad in a way, and then when you walk back there and you get back to that point, he's
Mhm.
just standing there over her dead body, and it like teaches you this whole lesson about revenge and like,
Yeah.
duty and stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
like just a quest like that. It has like 5 lines of dialogue.
Mhm.
But if you pay attention to what is going on when you're traveling towards the outpost, you get it all. It's like really simple.
Well,
to
it's
get.
like in one of the levels, the capital city. You go into it, and at first, I mean, the immediate frustration of just how difficult the city is. But when you stop and start wandering around it,
Yeah.
and you put 2 and 2 together, that there's like a plague outbreak or something
Yep.
going on. They're
Yeah.
sealing up all the buildings.
Oh yeah, all the ember sealed buildings.
It's like, dang, this just got even darker than what. And it's like you see like different like certain enemies that are like tending to like the
Yep.
locals and stuff. And
Well, and then you see the giant speared dragon. And then you start going around the wreckage site of that, and you're just like, oh, this was like from one of the many times one of the armies tried like onslaughting the Erd
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff. And
And you see, like you walk up one of the dragons that's like
it was-
frozen in
yeah.
the land, and like
one of the most fleshed out games, honestly, next to like probably an Elder Scrolls game or something. And those only get fleshed out because there's books laying everywhere.
yeah, this was just like every single event that you see is like there's probably lore that explains this group of people went here and then they got massacred or whatever,
Yeah.
and that's why there's this here. It's so cool. I also love it because it gives you enough of the story that you can understand the base concepts of the world, and from there you can either dig deep and find all the lore, or you can make your own story as the character.
yeah,
And in that way, it's like a true role-playing game where you feel like, I want to become the Elden Lord no matter what. And so then you go through and then you see like the choices that you have to make to become Elden Lord. And then you're like, dang, this is like messed up. And that's what I did the first time I played, was like, I want to become, my character's just going to be obsessed with being the Elden Lord.
yeah.
So like everything I did was just, I don't want to do your stupid like thing that you want me to do. I just want to become Elden
Yeah.
Lord. And so then by the end of it, you're like, you sacrifice everything to become
Yep.
Elden Lord. And it's such a cool thing. And then the ending is just like, you sit on the throne, the end.
Yeah,
And
you
then-
have nothing to rule over. 'cause
Yeah.
everything's destroyed.
Or you can be like, I like Ronnie and I want her goals to be achieved. Or I want
Ronnie's the only quest.
chaos.
Ronnie, best waifu.
Like, this world sucks. The game is
Well,
so
I was
hard.
just gonna say,
I want chaos.
Okay, so
technically the good ending, which is the chaos ending,
Mhm.
is buried deep
Yeah.
underground, and you have to go so deep to technically, because you burn the world away, but that's what everybody wants.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's a good ending. And if you just become Elden Lord, you literally kill everybody that was rooting for you
Mm-hmm.
just to rule over nothing.
Yeah.
This is actually a fun little fact, not to like fan over the Ronnie Quest thing, but like in the English translation of it, it's a like an age of like darkness and everything.
Yeah.
In the original, like in Japanese, the way the ending actually goes is basically Ronnie is taking all of her followers, leaving that world
Yep.
to go and battle the outer gods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to like bring down the greater will. Like it's not a bad ending. Like in the actual I don't know what happened. They said something got misinterpreted.
It happens a lot in Souls games because they play a lot on the naming of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, because Japan is such an odd language for how they name things,
Mhm.
that it's very easy to switch translations and for people not to catch it, because you'll look at the kanji of something, and if you're like reading over it quickly, then you might not catch it.
Yeah. Yeah, and with that, it's like I found that interesting because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Ronnie's Quest is bad," and it's like, no, it's just you're taking the fight to.
You're starting the resistance.
Yeah, you're starting the resistance basically, because that's like her whole thing. Is she's like the most rebellious of all the characters.
Yeah.
And Souls games always start out where like, you're a nobody who just woke up one day, ended the quest, you just killed a god.
It's literally the epitome of Japanese role-playing games. You are a farmer. Go kill God.
Yeah. The
So-
ending, you kill the freaking Elden Beast,
Yeah.
who's just like a god that was sent here for some reason, or
A god
something,
that was
like-
sent here to basically
order.
rule over
Yeah.
the world.
And it was like beyond just the king, because you
Yeah.
already killed the king. The king
Yeah.
was no big deal. The king of the world that like sealed the Elden Ring away. No, now you need to kill the god that's
Yep.
hiding behind the king. You're
So
like,
my
what the heck?
number 2 on my list is actually Cyberpunk 2077. I blame the anime, and I'm glad I did watch the anime before I played the game.
Yeah.
I've never had a game make me cry.
Oh, is it the song that plays in the car?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's the end of Act 1 that made me cry and
Oh.
followed up with it.
Nice.
It's just like
Let's,
Ghost of
let's
Tsushima.
just say the way this game does, like for as much crap as it gets, because it has a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
Like I had one time I walked up to my apartment and the wall wasn't there because it was just a smudge up the tower.
Oh, nice.
It has things like that, or I had like one time because I'm building like a bounty hunter because it's very open.
Okay.
I went and engaged like with a thug gang, and because I was the instigator, for some reason the game thought that I was assaulting a civilian.
Oh.
And instead of just sending police to my location, it like sent Max Tac, which is like the elite kill team. They just popped up out of the ground and just like minigunned me.
Oh, gee.
But that's honestly, it's kind of some of the charm of the game. Like outside of the flaws of the game, the characters are not good people in any way. Like no one is good in Night
Yeah.
City. Like everyone's got an agenda, but it's in a way that you still, it paces itself so you have time to get to know every character and
Yep.
stuff. And it's just little moments like that in the game, or like even I've been seeing a lot, and I'm planning on going through. It's like some of the sound design and stuff where it's like
Mhm.
listening to like the liveliness of the sound and of like the city and stuff. It's a very atmospheric game. It's a little boring at the first half, but it really ramps up and gets really crazy like in the second act.
Yeah.
Plus you get to play as Keanu Reeves for a little bit.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was
Yeah.
just a side character.
No, he's a main part of the game. There's like this this memory thing that you get to see, and you get to play through it, and you're like Keanu Reeves with this like hand cannon that blows stuff up. And
Oh,
he's,
nice.
like storming through a building.
That's cool.
That's sweet.
My next game is Ghostwire Tokyo. Gonna try replaying it, but from what I played of it, it's a little repetitive, but the story is very interesting.
Yeah.
It's different. Very ambient, very colorful, and
That was the Bethesda game that came out, right?
it was a Bethesda game, and I wish they didn't turn. They were, from what I heard, going to go kind of an anime route with it.
Yeah.
Of it was going to be a living city, and it was just basically you were like a spirit detective.
Yep.
And then they went like, okay, well, this is just we got no time to do this. We're gonna make a first person shooter,
Right.
basically. But it's still fun. It's a fun
Okay.
game.
That's cool.
Yeah, that game looked really cool, but the gameplay looked pretty like
Boring.
It's
Yeah, really
interesting though,
simple.
because when you get tossed in like an arena with different enemies, like crap, I gotta switch between these like spells and stuff.
well, it looks
Yeah.
like it kind of looks like a BioShock.
yeah,
fighting
in a way, that's
Or,
what,
like,
that's what it feels like.
And
Metroid,
that's
I think,
fun
was
and
like
stuff,
that. Metroid
but
Prime.
I don't know.
It gets a
I
little
like.
old.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
restart it so I can actually like focus on the story.
It does look like a just point and click
Yeah,
kind of like thing.
Kind of. It's very much FPS. So another game I've been playing a lot of. Used to hate it, and actually kind of got into it 'cause it's the only MMO I can find that I like. Is I've been playing a lot of Elder Scrolls Online.
Nice.
Got into the High Isle DLC and stuff. So
Okay. Cool.
Cool.
if anyone wants to play with me, send me a message. We'll start a guild so I don't have to solo everything.
Well, what's your user tag?
Just my Steam tag.
Well, what's your Steam tag?
I don't know. It's a bunch of symbols. You'd have to contact me on Twitter.
Okay, contact him on Twitter if you want to play ESO.
And then my new one, I was stubborn against playing this, and I don't know why, because it is a beautiful masterpiece of a first-person shooter. Is Doom Eternal?
Yeah, you
I-
were so
I
against
was
it.
so
against that.
gatekeeping like the original games, and now playing this, it's just like this is.
Ramen Cat was literally the toxic retro player, where it's just like,
It was.
no, I can only play the mod packs. Like, was it Brutal Doom and
Well,
stuff?
here's the
And-
thing: playing it, I see all those mod packs in this. Whoever built this just basically played the mod packs like, yeah, okay.
Huh, it's kind of like the creators of Doom, like Doom.
Almost like they know
Who
what the
would
fans
know?
want.
Well, the thing was
Yes.
Romero had a hand in this one.
Romero had a hand in both of them.
Not so much. They asked him questions in the 2016 one.
Yeah.
They didn't have him have his hand in it. He directly helped with.
Well, what
this
happened
one.
in the 2016 one though is it was kind of their what is it? When you're probation game,
Yeah.
because they just got bought out and they had to redo an old series that everybody liked, so they
Right.
had to play
Oh,
it safe.
yeah.
Honestly, their mistake was the not the backtracking. It was more the design of creatures and
Yeah.
stuff. They went way too far one way, where this was like, oh yeah, here's a bunch of original enemies, and here's stuff that looks like stuff from the old games.
Yeah.
It just, for a first person game, it's brutal, it's gory, it has good puzzles and stuff. Like, I was happy to go walk into an area, and for once after years of like games, like, I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna have to actually look around.
Cool.
It is a great game.
Nice.
When you walk into a berserker power up and the music starts playing.
Oh yeah, it's got this
Yeah.
like onslaught mode. It's great for if you're having a bad day.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna go next real quick. We already talked about Elden Ring. Of course, that's my number one because that's basically the only game I played all year. I had a pat with myself for a while. That's the only game I was gonna play until I beat it.
He never beat it. He gave up on the path.
I never
Oh,
beat it, gave up on it, went to Fallout 4, which is my number 3, and I kept on going back to Fallout 4 throughout the years. I love that game. It's just a good Fallout
Not
game.
even modded, just plain.
just vanilla Fallout 4. I just like it.
I respect the man. I do.
Like with its bugs and everything.
It's not that old of a game either.
It's
like-
2016.
I mean, that's not that old.
It's not that
It's only
old.
from 2016.
It was the
Yeah.
last like glory batch of games before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I played a new hero shooter, kind of like a Call of Duty game called Shatterline. Me and my brother got into that a lot. It's really good. It's like fast paced, like Apex, but it doesn't got all the crap that Apex has now because Apex seems way too complicated.
Apex
Yeah.
is so fast.
I know
Yeah.
playing it with you and your brother, it was like, wait, all I got to do is point and click.
Yeah.
I want Titanfall.
And Shatterline has, since it's kind of like a post-apocalyptic type game, it's got like a, Invasion from Ghost. I'm talking of Pyrolus.
Yeah.
It's got that type of mode
Okay.
where you're going through and completing objectives and fighting bosses and stuff. So it's really fun.
You get a pet alien dinosaur.
No,
Like
you
throwing a
shoot a
knife in it,
pet
a
alien
knife?
dinosaur.
You get a hypno knife. You're like, ha ha!
No.
Take that, ground mother.
But yeah, besides for that, I got back into Elden Ring just a couple days ago. Found a build I finally like, and am gonna beat the game
Nice.
finally. So
Which ending?
I have it pre-set up for Ronnie. Before I quit
Okay.
the game earlier this year, I already completed Ronnie's quest. I think that's kind of what got me tired of it, because I literally looked up the guide for Ronnie's quest
Oh my goodness.
and was just reading it and then playing the game, reading
It's
it, and then playing the
ridiculous.
game.
The stupid, like, one of the dumbest parts of it is after you get the Ronnie doll, you have to sit at this one specific fire, and then there's an option to talk to it.
Yes.
It's like you have to go to this fire, sit at it, and then notice there's another option
Yep.
in your list of 100 options.
It's almost
that's how
like
you
it's
continue.
like a Zelda game.
It's
I
so
found that
stupid.
before they made the update where they highlight if there's something available for you.
Yeah.
Because before nothing was highlighted.
Yeah, same. When I played it, it was not highlighted. It was just there, and it was like, what?
My hardest part was finding Blyde when he gets locked in the Marigold prison.
Evergold spot.
Yeah, the Evergold spot. I'm just like, where the heck are
Oh,
you?
those catacomb areas are so confusing too. Where it's just like the ant and the just
Yeah.
directions
I-
everywhere. It's like, where the heck
I
is
just
this
became
stuff?
the guy that hangs out and tries to help people.
I ended up killing 4 bosses before I realized I went the wrong way. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I gotta go the other way now. Besides for that, let's jump to Pyrolus, because he looks like he's anxious to talk about games. Unless you got nothing. But
no, I do.
Okay.
I played the new COD.
New Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Yeah, new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
The remake.
The remake. Not a
The
remake.
sequel, the
They
sequel of the
retconned it.
remake.
They retconned it.
The Christmas special, High School Musical.
Yeah, high
second.
school. Yeah, with 18 rated. Yeah.
Yes. yeah.
NSFW. The story itself,
Redux.
I liked.
Yeah.
I wish they had different characters.
Okay.
The story and plot itself was pretty good. But I don't like how they retconned the old Modern Warfare story.
Yeah.
And used the same characters. That just feels like very lazy to me.
Yeah.
And like it was spitting on the old games.
Well,
yeah, it's probably just a nostalgia. Let's use the same characters.
Yeah.
kind of what the first Modern Warfare remake felt like. It's just like, here's Modern
Yeah.
Warfare with a new engine. Have fun.
They just
Yeah.
retconned this. I mean, it would have been much better if it was a remastered. But they just took the same characters, retconned the story, and put them in a new story.
Yeah.
And I didn't really I like the story. I just didn't care that they took the characters.
Yeah.
Because most of the characters I watched die growing up,
Mhm.
and I felt the pain of them dying.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that they spit on my feelings.
Well, okay.
I think that story's good. I don't think it's worth $70.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely regret buying that for the full price when the next week it was like $20.
Yeah.
That was another spit in my face.
Yep.
I don't like Activision Blizzard right now.
Yeah.
So I don't.
I don't
don't
think
like it right
anybody
now.
does.
It's
Although I guess
Oh, there's a lot of people who do.
I guess Warzone 2.0 is
it's
good.
called Warzone. There's Warzone 2.0, then there's DMZ, which is basically a Tarkov ripoff.
There's another play mode. Oh,
Warzone DMZ.
Okay, I just been seeing Warzone stuff, so Warzone looks like it could be fun.
Well, I really don't like so Modern Warfare 2 after
Mhm.
like they released it like 3 weeks afterwards, they put a 60 gigabyte update on it. All they did was move the launcher for Warzone from the original Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 2. That was a 60 gigabyte update.
That's funny. Well, I hear see my brother went
I
to
couldn't play the
delete
game
one of the
for a
old
week.
Call one of my brother went to delete one of the old Call of Duties off his PS4. He's like, "Oh yeah, that'll save up like I don't know, 20 gigabytes or something." It was 111 gigabytes.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Why?"
It's because they store the launcher.
My theory,
They have 2 games under one game.
The
It's
graphics aren't that good.
no, my theory is in 5 years you're gonna have to get an SSD, and on that SSD it's gonna be labeled Call of Duty something of
They just need-
another.
well, Blu-rays
And you
don't
just
finish total-
hot plug that into your computer to run the game.
But no, like it's so dumb. Like they do it to push Warzone onto people. That way, people buy the stuff.
My coworker plays Warzone, and the things he told me about how you like to properly play Warzone, you have to buy every single Call of Duty game, because if you don't have the weapons automatically
Yeah.
unlocked. You have to farm
Yep.
for the weapons
Yeah.
for each Call of Duty game. and then like the attachments are different. You have to
It's
get
so
drops
dumb.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And
They're turning it into like a live service. They want to like Netflix size.
All they're turning
Call of
is-
Duty.
They're turning it into Disney Marvel shows where you
Yeah.
gotta watch this show in order to understand what's going. It's stupid. I
Yeah.
hate it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
The reason why I got it is because my military buddy was like, "Hey, we want to play Call of Duty with you." I was like, "Okay."
yeah,
It's not supposed to be shipped out that week.
you should have been like, I don't play Call of Duty. Why don't you like download Tarkov?
I played Tarkov with them.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, we have fun.
Nice. Probably
Something
better
I played
than
this
me.
year. I'm not saying anything, but yeah.
Yeah.
How you get beat up by your military buddies is just like, oh no, I play Overwatch.
Yeah, no, not doing that. I don't like Overwatch. But yeah, that's another game I played was Tarkov.
Nice.
On that, I got Insurgency Desert Storm, which is pretty good. Basically, my future job.
Okay.
Nice.
Minecraft, Jurassic World Evolution 2, which I got to see it. I got it on sale. I got it for like 15 buckaroonies. The only reason I bought it.
Nice.
Otherwise, I would not have bought it for the full $60.
Yeah.
Tank Mechanic Simulator, best game of the year. I loved it. It had so much lore. I go out into the middle of a field, dig up an old tank, haul it back to my garage, fix it up. That's all the lore I need in a game.
Nice.
Beautiful.
That's cool.
Pokemon Arceus. It was all right.
Yeah.
So I liked it. Lego Jurassic Park, another 10 out of 10 game.
Okay.
Great story, almost like I've seen it a million times before. I love it.
Yeah, that reminded me of the simulator.
Hang on a second. How long is your list? You
It's
play
not that
games.
long. I'm
Okay.
almost done.
I played Power Wash Simulator this year.
That game
another one.
looked so satisfying. I
It is.
almost bought
It's
it.
actually, for me, it's rage inducing.
What? Why?
Because when I actually power wash something in real life, I want to get every little speck. In this game, it's like you got to get every little speck, and then it rips it away from you with like, "Oh, you're almost done." Ding. I
Yeah.
almost had that spot.
Same thing with the tank thing. Like, there's so much where you grind, like, okay, I only grinded on this half, but it's all clean. Whatever.
Yeah.
But also, they'll put spots in the most infuriating areas.
Yeah.
Having to wash a tank out of the mud hole can do that to you as well.
All right. well,
Sorry, handing that back to Pyrolis.
Halo Infinite, another game that was overpriced for what it really was.
We're talking about the multiplayer's free.
Yeah, the DLC
Yeah,
for the campaign is
Yeah,
not. nor
if
is
you
it
were stupid enough to
returnable.
buy the DLC, that's where you got ripped off.
Nobody plays the multiplayer.
Having played it with you guys, not my Halo.
No, it's not.
I did
Halo.
not like it
I
at
miss
all.
the Magnum. The campaign, I like the campaign itself. The story's great. Bungie 343 always does a good story.
Yeah.
That's something they excel at. The gameplay, it felt like a lazy mixture of a Tom Clancy game and Dark Souls, and I did not care for it.
Oh, I forget. He hates Dark Souls.
I do not like the gameplay of Dark Souls, especially not when they try to throw Halo in there and they do it lazily.
Hey, there's Halo in Elden Ring. You kill a guy, so that way the moon will start spinning again.
Other than that, Chernobylite.
Okay.
Basically, not Ukraine.
Russia.
Russian meltdown of Chernobyl, but in a different world.
Oh, cool.
Do you get isekai there?
No, you're looking for your wife Anya, who went missing there after the explosion, and you have to fight off the Chernobylite zombies.
Huh. Cool.
Um,
Anyways, continue.
Metro Exodus,
Oh, nice.
just Russia simulator currently.
There's
Pretty
a
good.
Cog of Dead song in that game.
Really?
Yeah, it's like at a certain train, you can go to a radio, and if you like mess with it, you'll find a Cog of Dead song that's
Oh, that's
about like
cool.
the Russian like
In the
train
first or
like
second
thing.
game?
I'll have to look for it.
It's in the newest.
It's an
one.
Exodus.
It's an
the-
Exodus,
The
yeah.
last one.
Stalker,
Okay.
which that's I lied about Metro Exodus. Stalker is the true Russian
Yeah, it is.
Chernobyl
Yep.
experience. Play that. I recommend it. All three of them.
Yeah.
You can get them for cheap on GOG. I'll use my referral code. Exanima, which is pretty good. So Exanima is like Dark Souls, but bird's eye view and a whole lot better. I like it. You should look
Cue
at it.
Elden
Play
Ring
it.
boss music.
You should play it. It's a lot more challenging. It's fun.
Wait a second.
We
What?
spent 4 hours fighting the fire giant last night.
Look into Exanima.
Okay. I'm not
It's a
gonna
lot
argue with you.
harder than Elden Ring.
I'm
I'm
not gonna
telling
argue
you.
with you.
Same with
Well,
Kenshin.
okay.
You haven't
there-
played
there's-
Elden Ring.
there-
How can you say it's
Because
harder?
I've seen people play
There's
it.
a
I
lot
know
of-
you're role
Who-
playing as the victim, okay? I get it.
No, who are you watching play?
As a victim, I'm gonna play as the massacre.
Yeah. I just beat an old man with his own leg basically last
Go to
night.
Jarville and wipe out the jars.
Okay.
I have.
All right, good.
That's what you do once you beat the game. You kill all the NPCs for their loot.
Good. Other than that, I played War Thunder as well.
Or you let the NPCs kill themselves.
That's true.
I also
Yeah.
played the Star Wars game Fallen Order.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Fallen Order is pretty fun.
All right.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Okay.
Pretty fun. Short game. It's not super long, but it was fun. Had a fun story. It had like really cool, like they used the technology of PS5 really well. It's
Nice.
pretty cool. Just like rifting. It just instantaneously, you're like, I need to go here. Rift.
Nice.
And so that kind of mechanics and stuff was cool. Kind of wish it was longer, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Had a good story. Fun story. And Elden Ring, and I'm currently playing Horizon, the second
Nice.
Horizon game, which is pretty fun.
Didn't you play through the first one?
I did play through the first one.
How's the second one comparing? I hear mixed reviews with
It's-
people that played the first one.
It's good. I haven't gotten very far into it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a lot like the first one. I
Oh,
think
cool.
it's some of the stuff is cool that they added that they didn't have. Like you can kind of like glide if you jump off of high places. And,
Okay.
Swimming is a new thing.
And it's in a tropical setting.
yeah, it's in a
Oh,
more
boy.
tropical setting. I don't know. There's more robots.
Nice.
It's basically the same game.
Robot dinosaurs.
There's also a ton of dialogue.
Okay.
And I'm like obsessed with finding the whole story, so I talk to everyone as much as I can, and it takes forever to get anywhere. But yeah, it's fun.
Nice. That's my problem in Fallout was I just listen to people.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like,
I've been playing for an hour. Oh, I've only like talked to like 2 people.
yeah, it's like I want to know your story. There's some role play elements too,
Yeah.
just how you handle situations, but not much.
Oh, cool.
The main character's a little bit unlikable sometimes, but
Yeah.
it's good.
All right. I think that's it for games.
Yeah.
All right. Last true category. All right. Movies. Anybody got any good movies they want to talk
It was
about?
Silent Night. That was good.
You mean
watched-
Violet
yeah.
Night?
Violent
Violent Night, yeah, Violent Night.
Yes. I guess you can go first, Pyrolus.
I'm just staying that. I don't want. I don't
Oh,
want to take up
okay.
too much more time.
Just
That was a good
Violent
movie.
Night.
I liked how he was a Viking.
Yeah. Well, that's a spoiler.
Come on, it's
The
been out
movie
for a
came out 2
while.
weeks ago.
Yeah, I keep
Spoiler
dealing with
warning.
I keep dealing with my girlfriend like dropping references. Just like, oh no, that's a spoiler. I'm like, come on.
All right. Ramen Cat, what do you got?
I watched twice now actually because I liked it that much. I watched Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Nice.
Really, really good movie. Really unique take on Pinocchio.
Yeah.
A lot of love went into the story, and really, it's got a good message for I think kids and parents both, especially if you kind of get impatient with your kids.
That's cool.
And for those kids that are like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? But it's like stop motion. It hits kind of that uncanny valley type thing,
Yeah.
but it's got so much detail and stuff
Pinocchio
in
was
it.
made while
That's
drunk.
cool.
Yeah, Pinocchio's made while Geppetto's drunk because his son got blown up in a church that got bombed in
Yeah.
World War One. Like it's
Wow. Okay. Wait a
totally,
second.
it's totally different.
It's
It's on
not more
Netflix.
involved.
so-
It's- well, I don't have Netflix.
Oh,
I'm too poor
it's-
for Netflix.
it's a good movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, like, that's
Um,
the water animation, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the only thing they like CGI'd
That's
because
cool.
I mean you can't make stop motion water without making it just silk and
Yeah.
stuff.
No, you
um,
can do real water because it's stop motion.
Okay, if anyone has ever seen an old '80s movie called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer,
Yeah.
not like the book. It's like this really weird, like they end up going and talking to Satan at the bottom of an elevator type
Yeah.
movie. It's got elements like that.
Okay.
Like it very much borrows from that.
Cool.
I got to watch One Piece Red,
Nice. It's an
which
actual
I've
anime
never
thing.
watched One Piece
Your
before.
list has one prize.
Yeah, I know. I've never watched One Piece before, but I was able to sit down and I had an interpreter with me so I could ask who was who and what was what. And it was a good movie. It was a fun movie.
Nice. That's
It
cool.
got like really bonkers like most anime movies do towards
Yeah.
the climax. It's like 1 minute they're like, let's go to a concert. Next minute, let's fight a giant demon.
Makes
And then-
sense for One Piece.
And then while I was sick over summertime, I watched the original, not the crappy 2000s remake, the original first two Conan the Barbarian movies, Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. And let me say this: if you like old school D&D, those are it right there.
So you're talking the one with Schwarzenegger?
Yes,
Okay. Cool.
they're actually like they're a little cheesy in certain spots, but for a fantasy movie produced in the 80s, great.
Yeah.
Like the first movie's got such great sword fights and stuff, like very well choreographed. Other than that, I watched Mad God. Worst best mistake of my life. Fantastic.
Mad God is weird.
Okay. Zero plot to the movie. There is no plot. It's just one giant showpiece to
Yeah.
the next. And there's so many mediums in that thing. And it makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel like somebody dumped a bucket of like guts on you and you need a shower.
Yeah, for sure.
But
It's unsettling.
It like elicits emotions, but you don't know why.
Yeah.
Like things just
yeah.
happen and you feel it.
Yeah, you feel it, and it's like it's a movie that will make you kind of just like cringe in your seat.
Yep.
And it's for those people that like that kind of stuff, like really offsetting animations and animatics and things like that. I'd say watch it because the guy who made it spent almost 60 years on it.
Yeah.
Or not 60, maybe 40
years.
He started making it right before or right after Jurassic Park. So
Phil Tippett.
30
Yeah,
30
Phil
years.
Tippett.
30 years, yeah.
30-ish years.
Yeah, those are my movies.
Nice.
So far. I mean,
Cool.
Other than my usual like Christmas movies and stuff.
What about you, Weez? What do you
I was
got?
trying to think of movies I watched, and I was like, I watched a bunch of crappy Marvel movies, and then I remembered I watched The Batman.
Oh
And
yeah,
The Batman was
I was
really
gonna talk
good.
about the Batman too.
Batman.
The
The-
Batman is really
The
good.
Batman was really good. I really liked it. Some
Yeah.
people didn't like it because of how it portrayed Batman, but I have like zero previous knowledge of Batman. So
I thought they betrayed.
I thought he was
Batman
really
Yeah,
well.
they did pretty.
I thought he was really
Other than
interesting.
when he
Yeah.
hit the bridge and just walked it off.
Yeah.
That
pretty
was
well.
I loved that scene so much. That was like one of my favorite. That was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Is him just gliding down and then just getting totally beat down. Like that was hilarious. I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. It was an interesting movie. And
Nice.
then I've seen it before, but White Christmas. Classic, super fun Christmas movie from like the 40s or something. 50s? I think it's the 50s, yeah, 1950s, White Christmas.
I don't know. It was an old movie I had never heard of.
Bing Crosby, and they're like war buddies, and it's a musical. Like
Is it?
it's got
Bing
really,
Crosby and Dean Martin.
I think so. It's
Okay,
got really,
I have seen this.
really
before.
good choreography, like
Yeah.
in the dancing and stuff. It's a good movie. I don't know. It's just fun. It's good classic cinema.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
What's your problem, Pyrolus?
What's his last name?
Crosby?
No.
Bing.
What's Weeze's last name?
Oh,
Private information that we will not disclose.
Weeze is my last name. It's Bivel. Cornelius Bivouac Weeze.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
what are you
right.
talking about? I think you're just drunk. You drank way too much whiskey.
I think so too.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here down that. I'm like, I am fine.
But I mean, everyone's heard the classic Christmas song, White Christmas.
Yeah.
And that's like the first.
I'm dreaming
Yeah.
of a copyright strike.
It's so old that probably nobody cares. But like, it begins with him singing that song with this like army Christmas party.
Okay,
Cool.
for our audience, it's probably way too young to know. Bing Crosby had the singing voice of God in the 50s.
Yeah,
He's
it's good.
amazing. Yeah.
So if you're ever interested in
think-
or like a little bit of history, just look up his like music, and he's just great voice.
And watching that movie too, because like everything that you see has to happen because they don't have the technology to do much.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
practical
it's so
effects. all
cool.
the
Like
way.
the voices are good voices because they can't auto tune them. The choreography of the dancing and stuff is them like doing the dancing because they couldn't do it
I
otherwise.
feel like you would actually
it's a
really,
really
enjoy
cool movie.
singing in the rain. As weird as
Fair
that sounds, you probably would. It's a musical. It has to do with that, but it's all spot on.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
guess
same thing. It's
the,
an
like,
old movie.
Yeah, the choreography of stuff really impressive. They like
another song that's kind of like that. Is it The Hills Are Alive with Music or
Oh,
something?
The Sound of Music?
Yeah, the Sound of Music.
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's a good
But
Christmas
I
movie.
think White Christmas is probably
If you
better than
like
Sound of
really
Music.
weird musicals, you should watch what's that old Disney movie with Van Dyke? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, it's such a great movie.
It is so good. You'd
yeah,
like that one. It's weird.
that's pretty much
There's
all
a
I have.
child snatcher in it. Let's just put it that way.
Dang.
Like his
That
job is
shouldn't be a reason to like the movie.
but it's got that weird
It's so
element.
relatable.
All
but,
right, I'm getting your mother and you, and we're doing old movies that Weez has never seen.
that's all movies. I haven't seen new movies. I haven't seen old movies.
We're starting with the old
Really?
movies, and we'll move up to the.
Oh, the only
decades.
other thing I have to mention is I watched some of I've watched the first season of Breaking Bad, which isn't a movie, but
Nice.
it's a live action TV show.
That's cool.
And it's pretty good.
All right. I watched The Northman.
That was good. I
That was
remember
good. And then I also watched Batman and Violent Night. But The Northman I really liked. It's just the cinematography of it. The acting was good, but it really felt like those
Willem
old
Dafoe's head.
what?
Willem Dafoe's head.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe's head. It was good. It was one of those movies where you're halfway through it and you're like, what am I watching? And then they end the fight in a volcano and you're like, oh, I get it now. I'm not supposed to understand anything.
It's Vikings around psychedelics.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really good. My favorite scene is like when they're attacking the village and one of the guards just throws a spear and the
and
guy
he
just catches it,
catches it.
spins and beats it back at him. I'm like, oh, that was nice.
Then there was the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Nicolas Cage.
That was
That
really
was really
good
good,
too.
yeah.
It had Pedro Pascal in
Yep.
it as
Yep.
well. That was a good movie.
That was.
Man, buddy, I can't get over this wall. You have to leave me behind.
What if we go around the wall?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
I think the worst movie that we've seen this year, me and you, Boom, was the
You have
Lost
to
City
bring it
of
up.
D.
That wasn't so bad.
No, it
But-
was. We thought we were walking something cool, and we ended up being a homosexual
That-
couple. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that me and
It was
Boom did not
awkward
swing that
because
way.
we were bored. We
Yeah.
asked a friend on a Monday afternoon, "Hey, bud, you watched a couple movies because he went to the movie theaters. We're like, you watched a couple movies recently. What should we watch? Because we're both bored. We want to watch a movie." He was like, "Watch The Lost City. It's great." Me and Pyrolis go to it on a Monday night, and we get in the theater, and there's two types of people.
Only
in there.
Brad Pitt was the only good part.
Brad Pitt was amazing as the yoga instructor. There's only two types of people in that theater: couples and old ladies. I not mean grannies. I mean like 40-year-old ladies
Yeah, like-
that go and watch
yeah,
romance
Middle
movies.
aged. Yeah.
And the movie starts playing. And we're like, okay, this is kind of like one of those weird, like, it's got like a romance plot to it. And then we just see
We didn't do any
Channing
research.
Tatum's butt for 5 minutes. We're
You
like,
should have done
oh,
research. You
this is not
trusted
the right
him
one.
way too much.
you
trusted-
said okay as well.
No, I only said okay because you said okay.
Uh-huh, sure.
You
Put
were
all the
talking-
blame on me.
You were talking McSnazzy. I was at work and I check. I'm like, okay, it looks like you want to see it. I want to watch the cow thing. I thought it'd be funny to eat a burger while you watch a documentary and how we should.
I
not eat
didn't
cow.
want to watch a documentary about veganism.
It would have been a lot better to watch Shawi eating burgers in front of a bunch
I
of vegans.
guess.
It's funny how you mentioned there's only like couples and middle-aged ladies, Derek. I distinctively remember seeing that trailer in the theater and making fun of it with my girlfriend. We
Yeah.
were both
Kind of.
like, wow, this started out, like the trailer started out and it looked kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And then it looked awful. And we were
Only
just
good
making
parts
fun of how
were-
stupid
You know what
it
the
looked.
funniest part is? I
Daniel
watched the
Radcliffe.
trailer, but I only ever watched the first part. So I got all the cool action
The first
scenes.
part's like, oh, this is a cool concept. This
Yeah.
might be interesting. And then it's like, oh,
Even
this
it's
is not
kind of
good.
funny going with my girlfriend to see One Piece Red. It was the opposite. It was on one side of it, a lot of old guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the other side, a bunch of rowdy teenagers. It's just me and her just sitting like, yep, we're the only couple here that's a bunch of geeks.
There's only Daniel Radcliffe and Brad Pitt were the only redeeming qualities of that movie.
I forgot Daniel Radcliffe was
Dude,
the
he
bad
put-
guy.
I don't know.
Like,
I seen a wheelbarrow in there. Was the wheelbarrow redeeming at all?
No.
No.
No, darn.
Brad Pitt moving the wheelbarrow was
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then he gets shot in the head.
Then he somehow survived.
And he survived. Because he doesn't need his whole brain because he's so zen.
And then
What?
and Daniel Radcliffe is like the stalker villain guy.
Yeah. The movie
This-
actually kind of got an interesting plot. It's about this romance. Basically, you know those adult books.
Yeah, it's a spoof on romance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an author of that. And
Channing Tatum's the guy that does the
Channing
picture stuff.
Tatum's her model for the covers.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets kidnapped because Daniel Radcliffe thinks she actually knows where all of this stuff is.
Yeah.
Her ex-husband was just an archaeologist.
Yeah, her ex-husband was just an archaeologist. And so he kidnaps her, and then Channing Tatum, I don't know, it's a weird convoluted plot where he actually goes after her because he hires Brad Pitt, which is playing this ex-Special Forces yoga instructor. He goes, wipes out the bad guy's camp, but then he gets shot in the head accidentally. And then it's just Channing Tatum and what's the girl's name? She's a fancy
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock. And it's just those two. And then that's when the lovey romance stuff.
Channing
gets
Tatum's
into it.
okay in comedies, but not this kind of comedy.
I
like
just
him in,
didn't
like,
want to
action
stare at his
comedies.
butt for 5
Neither did I.
minutes.
There was too much of him being nude.
Yeah.
It sounds like it was really close to being an entertaining movie.
It was. Like, if there was... The issue was most of the movie was just Channing Tatum's rear end
Yeah.
and Sandra
Yeah,
Bullock.
and stupid, like it's like middle-aged humor.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I'll take
40-year-old
middle-aged
woman
humor over young humor anymore.
humor.
Well, it's not
It's
the
middle-aged
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 humor.
housewife that just wants to
Yeah.
get a divorce and does nothing but drink wine all day.
Yeah.
The
It's
box wine
literally one of those books that you see at the dollar store that has the shirtless cowboy on. it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of supposed to be like a parody of that. But
Yeah.
it
It's supposed to
sounds
be
like
real
it.
on the nose.
Yeah.
It was okay at the beginning, but the end was just kind of like, meh, whatever. Daniel Radcliffe was funny.
I only like Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
And like I said before, the other guy, which I forget now right now.
Have you seen Daniel Radcliffe playing Weird Al Yankovic?
I want
seen
to
the
watch that
trailers, I haven't
movie.
watched the movie.
There's
That's
also
fun.
another movie where he gets kidnapped and he gets 2 guns bolted to his hands. And he has to go around committing crime, or else they're gonna kill him. It's called Akimbo. It looks great.
Nice.
All I know is there's this picture of him in a bathrobe with 2 guns,
Yeah.
and he's making a
And
crazy
teddy bear slippers.
Teddy bear slippers, just making a face in the street of guns strapped to his hands. It looks great.
Well, on that note,
On that note, it has been. I don't know how I'm
Real
gonna cut
quick,
this down. But
Real quick, Wheeze, drink your alcohol.
I
and
think
tell us how
other
you
than
thought.
slight little edits, I don't think you should.
I have to remove some of you guys saying names and stuff.
Other than that, you shouldn't have to remove anything.
Ah, it really burns.
Yeah, what do you think of it?
We'll save that
It's
for the
alright.
next episode.
You said it was the only
All right,
whiskey you like.
one
I
thing.
did last time. This time I don't like it as much. It's okay though.
All right.
Since we
It's
are,
not
this
amazing,
is going to
it's
be
just fine.
after, but
I do like the
anyone
burn.
have a New Year's resolution?
Kind of.
More alcohol.
Become a 3rd Dan black belt and lose 70 pounds.
You're going to waste
Nice.
away to nothing, dude.
70 pounds would put me at a solid 200.
You're going to die.
I'm fat, man.
You're going to die.
I'm a 2nd degree black belt that's fat.
Do you remember our Grandmaster?
I know.
He was a portly man that
But
could
I'm not
fly.
7 feet tall.
Special announcement? Because I don't think we've officially announced it. Now it's actually confirmed.
And he's
I'm-
drunk enough.
I'm leaving in 28 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kicked him off the show.
That's one of the reasons why Ramen Cat was actually on here. He's supposed to be my replacement and ended up staying longer than necessary.
Yeah, surprise everybody. Ramen Cat's the new 3rd host of Baka-Talk.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm leaving for the army. I'm gonna be infantryman's, and I'm gonna whoop some butt.
So you're leaving
January 18th.
January 18th, so your last will be the Wednesday before that.
Yes, it'll be the 11th
The 11th.
because the 18th is Wednesday.
Yeah, so
I can tell you my New Year's resolutions I had last year.
because you didn't complete them.
My goals are wildly inconsistent. The first one was I wanted 1,000 subscribers. Did not obtain. My next one was generally consistent 50 to 100 views on each video. I'm getting generally consistent 1,000 views on each video. And some, like the worst one is like 200. So that one wasn't even like a challenge.
Third.
And the first
popular.
one did not happen at all. The third one was talk to somebody like kind of big YouTuber, and that didn't happen. And my last one was my next book published, which has not gotten work on.
Wait a second. You talked to what's his name? Can I say his name? Anime Shoshin, the co-host. He uses his regular name, right?
Yeah, these.
Yeah,
Blake?
Merv. Yeah,
Merv.
Blake and Merv.
Blake.
Yeah,
Blake has over like 50,000 subscribers, dude.
There you go.
I
Strike that off your list.
guess.
It's not big enough for him.
It's not big
I
enough.
was
You're
thinking
fancy
like
shit.
I'm gonna
anime.
tell-
He's not an anime YouTuber.
That's
I was going
true.
for anime.
Okay, I guess you can use that excuse to
Yeah.
get out of it. Blake won't hate you forever now.
Yeah, I know.
Only a little bit because you just hurt his pride a little bit.
I hope I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, it's Blake.
Okay, I'm way too tired to think
Yeah.
of names right now. So, besides for Channing Tatum for whatever, I have that name stuck in my head. Dang it!
As long as you're not
Ah.
soft, supple cheeks.
In the leeches.
Don't put that in my head. Anyway.
All right, what do you got, Robin Cat?
I'm just gonna try not to let crap bother me
Hey, fist bump for that.
because I've noticed since moving up in like my career, my like anxiety has went from just being upset to anytime someone says anything to me, I want to rip their head off. So
Yeah, I've been dealing with that too, but mine's also customer service oriented. Yours is more like all your coworkers are imbeciles.
I know. I come in here every day. I mean,
I-
every Wednesday.
not these
and
guys.
I'm like, hey, Ramen Cat, how's it going? He's like, don't freaking talk to
Then
me.
he
Step
grabs him by
back.
the throat. It's like, I'm going to make a pop
Yeah.
pop this time.
These guys.
He's like, go set up the
it's
mics, idiot. And then we
more-
set up the mics, and he's like, hey, guys, welcome to Baka-Talk.
Instantly becomes
No,
more
that's just
happy.
me because after my regular job.
No, like these guys are like
Soon as the-
decompressing after like this nice seeing everyone in the middle of the week
Yeah.
because I work in a very, I don't know, what would you say our place is a very high speed normally? Not like right now because it's slow.
Well,
But
it's a hellhole.
yeah.
As soon as the
Pretty
mics
much.
turn off, he's just like, get out
Let's
of here,
put it this
freaking
way.
idiot.
Well, with how late it is, I'm actually gonna bounce after we're done. But
Wow, thanks.
sorry.
Not even gonna help me tear down.
Sorry. You got these two.
Yeah, I have to drive him home.
See, there you go. Let's
I
put
don't
it
have a
this way.
car.
You're in a place and there's no other colors besides gray. So much so that everyone has actually begun to like unintentionally dress in gray.
They're like
Taka looks
mogs.
down at his clothes.
Yeah, no, we like one day, me, my manager, and like coworker, and boom, we're all sitting there talking, and I just stopped the conversation there because I'm like, you're wearing gray, you're wearing gray, you're wearing gray, I'm wearing gray. The shelves are gray, the floors are gray, the ceiling is gray. I hate this place.
I'd walk in with a polka dotted shirt in a job like that, actually.
You know what? They gave us new shirts the other day. I found a teal one, and I want more of them because I just want to bring more colors in.
The only problem is it's so cold that the colored shirt. I wear a colored shirt every day, but it's
under
underneath 3 layers of clothing.
that are
That's
all
gray.
Color jacket.
So yeah, I'm just this. Yeah, I had this before our big like interviews thing. It's like something happened, and I'm just like, you know what? It's not worth getting angry about anymore. I'm just disappointed,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna perpetually just stay disappointed because I can shrug that off easier than being angry all day.
Nice.
That's my thing.
I will hold the anger for both.
I don't think you want mine. Rip and tear, rip and tear.
At least your coworkers don't say that no one's doing any work, then proceed to sit in the back while you do all the work.
Because I will call them out and pull up every ounce of footage I have against them.
Also, our boss does enough of that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, let's not complain about work. It is currently 2:22. I don't know how long I'm gonna cut this down.
All right.
Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this long episode. Feel free to jump back and forth to things you want to hear us talk about, or just listen to the anime half.
Listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, that'd be
Please.
great. Besides for that, you can find Wheeze at KBW Anime. You
Yeah.
should search that on YouTube and you can find him.
You can search it on Google and you'll find me.
That's true. Yeah.
He's
You can
got
also
big
find him
time.
at KBW Author on Twitter,
KBW
Instagram, and
wrestling.
anywhere else, basically. You can find Ramen Cat at Ramen Cat 13 on Twitter, and also Eldritch Quill.
Yep. Eldritch Quill Arts.
Yep, on Twitter as well. You can find Pyrolus at Pyrolus Plays on YouTube, and you can also find him at Pyrolus2 on Twitter. And you can find me, Sir Boom, at SirBoom9, and also you can find me in the main Twitter channel that is Talk Baka on Twitter. You can also email the podcast at askbakatalk@gmail.com if you have any questions or if you just want to let us know your New Year's resolution or anything like that. Tell us your favorite anime that you watched of the year. You can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Baka-Talk Studios, and help us to get to, I don't know, 50 subscribers by the end of the year would be kind of cool.
50,000, baby.
Sure. Yeah. And then you can also review the podcast on iTunes and Spotify, and that would greatly help us out because the more reviews we get, which we currently have none, but we're not going to mention that part. The more reviews we get, the more popular we actually get put out on like recommended pages and stuff like that. So that'd be kinda
Berate
cool.
us. Beat us with your words.
Also, we really like to know what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right because we are all perfectionists in one way or another.
But first, we have to stop doing whatever we're doing wrong so we can at least get one person to review us.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to stop talking now. So see you all later and Happy New Year's, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Ciao, meow.
Happy holidays.
Bye.